Hello. How's it going, guys? Okay, today stream, I'm gonna be doing more. Wait, let me actually do. Actually, I gave her that one, but all the other ones have like. I mean, she doesn't have a shadow. Let's give her a shadow. But I'm gonna be doing some um concept stuff for some characters. I was writing a bit yesterday, and there are new characters that I need to design. So we'll be designing some things. If you guys have some ideas, also you guys can give them to me. I'll tell you bits and pieces of these characters, and I guess we'll go from there. Let me lower this opacity. Darker. Saturation. Alright. I feel like that's fine. And you know we love to add that little grassy texture on the shadow. I don't know, this looks nice to me. Grassy texture. I just put like these little triangles. It just makes it look like grass. Like beads of grass that she's are going over her shadow like that. I don't know where I saw it. I saw it on somebody's art style. I saw them do it. I just decided to do it. It just gives the floor a little texture, even though I don't want to draw a whole floor, you know. I do it a lot. Like with this one, these one, these one, this one does not have it, I guess. Let's add some. I mean, you don't have to. Like I've been trying some wooden textures also, like some wooden floor textures on this, and I typically just do um like little like grooves and stuff on the sections in between. But it's looking nice. Looks nice. But yeah, so that's the plan today. I don't know if I'm gonna color them in, because coloring them in, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna shade them in, because shading them in takes more time. So I think what I'll do is just um hmm? I think what I'll do is I'm gonna what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I think I'm just gonna draw them out, and we'll see what happens there from there. So yeah, we'll do some like character sheet stuff. Not really full. And cool thing is, because since I have so many characters, we've created so many characters through the days, through the years, I'll say. I'm just using some of the extra batch. Like I have a folder full of characters that I we just created back a day, and now I'm just they're going to be used. So some of them you might look at and be like, that looks familiar, because I have recycled them. They have been recycled. They're being used now for good. Okay. They're being used now for good. That's not what this. Okay, but yeah, uh okay, I think this is good. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing today. I'm just gonna do a couple of okay, so um I'm gonna bring up their like I have something written about who the character is, like their personality and stuff, and a bit of interesting things about them. Characters right here, and Selmara right here, which I've mentioned is the name of the smallest country in west, the west part of the West Wing of my world. Let's move this over here. So first character we have right here. Um, we might be doing like some male characters also, but I think I want to start off with a female character. Let's see who I want to use. There's a character. She appears a bit later, but I might want to draw her. She's dope. She's really cool. She has like she has like um but it's like this. Did you hear about the new call of the night opening with for season 2? No, I have not. Oh, snap. Season 2 is coming out? I didn't know that. Wait, didn't you mention that? I feel like you mentioned that. No, you said you were talking about how the manga ended. I don't know if you were talking about season 2. Um yeah, she has like a whole bunch like she hold up, let me see if I have her here too. Torn. Let's see where is she? Um they follow master torture. No, not her. Little Dove. Oh, Little Dove. I don't have a name for her yet, but she's oh man, she's so sad. Brady the Butcher. No, not her. Where is she? Fallen Noble. Not her. Or no, not her. Yo, I have to tell you about this character Titan. Um, where is she? Is this her right here? I have so many characters. I just have their like their wait. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is this character. Wait, I mean I know I have more information about her somewhere. Where? Okay, I'll just say this. But she's this character, and the nobles in the kingdom, I'll say, they okay. Okay, so she's a former gladiator, right? And then they ended up the nobles ended up hunting her, kind of like sport. So she like they have her do like I don't know if you guys have seen El Dorado, but they have her run across like this plane, and I sent to you. Listen to it. I mean, I have to listen to it in my free time because I'm gonna get copyrighted. Also, mangas getting continue. Oh, so it's coming back. I'll see. Did you start a petition, Titan? Titan was like, everybody better sign this piece of paper. Call it the night. Not gonna end like this. Ooh, I didn't know she was live also. I didn't know she was live also. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. It's not the entire song? Alright, let's see. It's on X? 27 seconds is spoiler category. 15 seconds is when it won't be copyrighted. I mean, copyrighted territory. Not spoiler. Copyrighted territory. I can get copyrighted for 20 seconds. Oh, what the heck is this vibe? It's all like some Caribbean, like. Oh, hey, hey. Okay, okay. That's not clean. That's not clean. This is the opening you said? It got like this Caribbean vibe to it. Alright, kind of smooth, kind of smooth. I'm gonna hit it with a like. I don't even be liking something like that, but I'll hit it with a like. I'll hit it with a like. Okay, alright, alright. Uh, okay. Opening? Sound clean, sound clean. Alright, so yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing today. Like I said, let me take this off. Take it off, 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 take it off. All right, so yeah, that's who she is, and she, um, like they have her like just it's like this Torin is the worst place in okay, yeah, in the for ordinary people, not even just ordinary, for nobles also. Torin is the worst place in my world, I'd say. It is terrible, bro. Like the things that go on over there. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. It is bad. And the crazy thing is, it was like I knew I wanted it to be bad, but I didn't know how bad it was gonna get. You know, just like more and more, and just I'm just like, oh man, I'm like I have to do that because I did that to them, and if I don't do it to them, then it's gonna be like, what the heck? Why is she getting the same? And then I'm like, oh, why he didn't get the same treatment? And I'm like, you know, sometimes I be trying to. I be like, yo, wait, nah, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, right? But then I'm like, it must be done, you know, we can't not. But yeah, we're not gonna worry about Torin right now because, like I said, it's a bit later, so those characters could chill for now. There's a character that I wanted to work on. I think what I'm gonna do, because I have, like I said, I have the before I start designing any of the little intricate things, because I have, like I said, the batch of forgotten characters, not forgotten, but like characters that I've drawn. These are like a lot of you guys OGs are going might recognize some of them. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just sort of draw the base of them, sort of like just the base before I add the clothing and everything. And I'm gonna do that once I, like these are like TikTok characters and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. And I'm gonna add all the other things once I decide what character they end up being. So that's what we're gonna end up doing today. All right, so yeah, how was your guys' day today? How was your guys' day today? Do anything fun? Anything interesting? Anything you want to talk about? Uh, let's see. I'm gonna do something pretty basic and simple. I don't want to work like I don't want to do too much. So let's do. Wait, what the? Oh, I thought the pencil was gone for a second, but it has charge. All right, so I think what I can honestly do, because I know all of them are going to. Should I do two per page, or one? Let's do one each, because we've been doing one on each page anyway. So I'm gonna do one. Um, I'm gonna do one on each page. As you guys know, I like to hit up the. What the heck is that? Is that a? What the heck is that? Oh, for a second I thought my screen was cracked. I was about to say how. When did this happen? You guys know I like to put my guide here. Right, so we get like a nice from head to toe, or to toes, if you will, and I split that in half. Somebody told me that she looks like she got like a Demon Slayer fit on. What's the problem this week, Bright? I've relinquished the power to you. I mean, honestly, we can do water guns if you want, water blickies if you want. We can, because we haven't done that one, and we want to keep it in the beach water theme. So I guess we can do that if you'd like. So I'll do and then we'll get the the nice little. Let's give you a little higher. I'm just use the same grid for them all. Alright, so, and then this bottom one be halved like this. No, like right there. Alright, so now we have this grid. Morgan, hello. How are you doing? Let's duplicate and then duplicate. So now we have multiple. And then we'll do on this one, combine. You know what? Let's delete, and then duplicate. Alright, so now we're going to draw these characters. I'm going to do some different like proportions and stuff, and then we'll decide who they end up being. I think I can do like, I want to try to do like three, like this stream. Like I said, I'm not gonna render him too much. I might add a little bit of shadows, but I might just keep them blank like this. And then, like I said, I'll do the clothing and stuff after, once we decide who these characters will be. Because I know I have characters of different, body types and stuff. So I'm just gonna run with that. All right, so let's do a head. Let's do a neck. She's barking already. Let's do a rib cage. Let's do some hips. Give her some wider hips. Let's do some tubes like this for the legs. Then the knees. And then the calves. Wait. Bring this in a bit. Yeah, that's better. And then the calves, shin area. Wait, I want it to be like popped out this way. And then the foot. Same thing on this one. Calf, ankle, foot. I feel like this is fine. This is a good, this is a nice lady. I was AFK for a second, so confused. Hold up, give me a second. How do I do this? It won't let me. It's fine. It's fine. It's not that important. Get some shoulders, elbow, wrist, shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand. Okay, now let's do like so. Let's go down. Let's block this in like that. It's not bad. Morgan, have you ever blocked out your characters like this before? Like I used to do this when I used to do TikTok lives, but then TikTok got mad, and then I realized, I've noticed that they started banning me every time I did it, so I stopped. Isn't that crazy? TikTok literally made me change the way that I drew. Not the outcome. They didn't change the outcome, but they changed the process. Isn't that interesting? So interesting. Oh, this how you... Oh! You know what? I forgot you showed me your character sheets. Disregard. You already answered, but still. Disregard. I did see your character sheets. And they did look... you did do, like, more skeleton... You did, like, a skeleton... Yeah, because you had, like... the rib cage, and then the hips, and then the bones, and then the joints. And ankle joint, and then we'll do foot, like so. this one, ankle joint, foot, like so. Let's make it longer. Okay, okay. And then we'll do, as you can see, this lady right here, she's pretty, not so Martha-y, you know? Out of this whole thing, I mean, obviously, because, you know, later on, Martha gets a little, you know, but like, out of this whole thing, I think we're gonna have to do like from, yeah, we'll do from Martha to Maya, like in a sense of, to show differences here. So I feel like she's like a closer to a Maya body type. Closer to a Maya. Let's do this, come down, and then this part right there. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. And then we can do from here and then here like that. And then same thing on this arm. And then here. And then here. Alright. And then now with this body type. Wait, I'm going to look at the characters now that we have over here to the left. Because I put them, I mean, to the right. All the way over here. Alright, so we have her, we have her, we have her, we have her. I mean, we can use her. Like, her design, not this character, because this character is nothing really. No offense, miss. I mean, you'll be used today. Probably. If I end up getting to you. I mean, no, you already exist. I mean, we could use you. But with you, I'm going to have to change your body type a little bit. Huh. Ooh, I like her hairstyle. Okay, I like her hair. But I like her body type. We're about to be building, guys. Ooh, I like her hair too. I like her eyes. Ooh. You know what? I think I'm gonna run with you. I'm gonna run with you, miss. We're going to keep you here. Dang. Like, why do people do that? I mean, you know, I might go say that. It's like the whole world got to hear your music, you know. But hey, I've been there before, so I can't be complaining too much. So right here, right there, and then the neck. We can do like a nice tube, and then we'll come down right here with the traps. She's not bad. Not bad. So we'll run with the other girl's hair. This one, I like her hairstyle. So I'm just looking straight up, like for the silhouette. Since this is the top of her head, I'm gonna go a little bit higher, and I'm gonna do like a shape like this, and I sort of go straight down, and sort of stop here, and then I sort of go straight down here, like that. And then right here center, and then sort of go like so, come in, go like this, and I sort of wrap around, go up here, go down again, and I wrap around to the top. And we can do like her jaw and then her the rest of her face like that. And then her ears are going to come out. Okay. Not bad, miss. And and is that it? I mean, I guess yeah, that's about it. That's all I really need from her. Now, I like the eyes from this character right here. Her eyes are pretty big. Ooh, these girls' eyes are even better. I'm gonna take her eyes, and her eyes go like, okay, so from the top of the head to the chin, halfway is where the eyes go. Her eyes go like this. This go like this. And then we can do like some fish lips for Morgan. And then we'll do like a little and then I like these eyebrows also. I'm gonna keep these eyebrows for her too. Her eyebrows are like these little rounded triangles. Alright, so, and I think I'm gonna make her head a bit bigger. I'm gonna make sure it stays in this, like this place. I'm just gonna make it bigger though. So it stays in here, but just bigger. Okay, not bad. This character, because like we have a whole lot of characters, so she can be a, let's see, what do we have here? We have a lot of different characters here. I want to see like, I know I have their like what they do, but where is it at? Okay, so we just have nobles, we have slaves, shopkeepers, we have because there's like a in this place in this country in this kingdom there's like it's a rebellion, so we can have like she can be part of the rebels. I don't know. She can be a daughter because I have a character. She's a daughter of a tavern owner. I don't know. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. I have these two twins also. One of them is a archer for the resistance or like the rebels, and the other is an ally of the dictatorial lord type thing, which is really cool too. So she can have a twin sister maybe. I don't know though. Yeah, let's bring her hair a little shorter. Let's bring it like right there. It was too long for me. All right, and now I'm gonna clean it up. I'm not gonna add the clothes and everything yet. Excuse me. Gosh, okay. Because I don't know what character this is yet, but um, I'm just gonna refine it just a little bit. Let's actually adjust this with some liquify. Bring this leg in. What are you working on now, Morgan? The last thing you did was free run, right? What do you have now? Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so like that. Now let's clean this up. Remember, the rib cage is on this line right here. It doesn't go beyond it. Alright, so if we want to add the opening, it has to be here in this line. Then we'll come down to right here. And since she isn't really like muscular, I'm not going to add, I'm not going to make her like obliques really pronounced, you know. just gonna do a little thing. I'm gonna come down. We're gonna follow that line with the hips, and we're gonna come in and make sure this comes to the bottom and goes there. Let's flip this real fast. Yeah, looking good. I made a new commission sheet and I'm about to. Oh, okay. Nice. Oh, you gotta wait under creator for the prompt though? Wait, what? You said you're about to do a random character. Oh, okay. You're about to do a random character challenge, but you're waiting for the creator to do the. Okay. So we'll come down here. We're gonna go in like this and come down there. Go in, go down, and on this side we're gonna go out and pop out like this. And then we're gonna curve in like this, go out a little bit like that. And then on this side we'll go out and come in. And then I'm gonna go like this. Somebody mentioned something to me. They said, you know, cause how I draw the ankle in a box. He said, how I draw the leg in a box. He said if you split it in half, that's where you'll get where the ankle bone comes out, right? And I'm pretty sure the inner bone is higher than the outer bone. Let me wait, check. Yeah, the inner is higher than the outer. So on the halfway point right here, the outer will come up the top, and then the inner will go at the bottom here. But since her leg is turned out this way, we're not really going to see that bone. And then we'll come down this and then go out like so. Pretty sure she's gonna have like some sandals or something, so we're not gonna work too much on her leg yet. Alright, so now this leg, come down and then round it out, and then this side we're gonna come in. Her legs aren't really muscular, so we're not gonna do something too crazy. I also gotta remember that. I think it's going back and forth. I always gotta remember that though, that some characters just aren't super muscular, you know? Because once you learn about like muscle anatomy, you tend to just put those muscles on these characters, and obviously they have the muscles, but like if a character isn't really muscular, a lot of these aren't gonna show that much, you know? A lot of these muscles aren't going to show like crazy because like everybody has abs, right? Like under there somewhere, but not everybody's abs like are visible. So I have to remember that. Let's do like right up here because I remember I have to put the ankle. Did you say muscles? Yeah, I'm trying not to give her too like much here. Even with the leg, like with her legs, because I know she's really muscular, but I tried to make her legs not too crazy. Because I have oh, I don't have her here, huh? There's a character I have. She has like really strong like leg muscles, and like when I was studying legs to like study the muscles of her legs, then the next few characters that I drew, I just ended up giving them really um muscular legs, and I was like, hold up, this character isn't supposed to have her legs this muscular, but I just kept starting to do that, you know. down here. And on the side, come in, and on the outside, it goes out, in, and then out, in, down. Wait, it's a little, yeah. Let's bring it a little lower and thinner. Hmm. Okay, and let's do like from here. I did make it a little further than I wanted it to be, because obviously she's gonna have something covering, so I'll put them a little higher. Alright, so now let's go back to see what the girl's face looks like. Okay, so I have to remember also, boom, 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 hold up, because I gotta adjust this. So boom, 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 so it gotta be like right here. Alright. Alright, that's good. And then let's bring the mouth down a little bit. And then let's liquefy the hairline. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Oh, wait, hold up. Mugen did something. Yes. This is what I'd like to watch.
While studying business, one thing that you're taught is the blue ocean strategy. The seemingly endless blue ocean represents a market that's never been taken advantage of. Its counterpart is the red ocean, a market that has way too many competitors and is a headache to penetrate. One of the best examples of the blue ocean strategy is what Tesla did with EVs. They seemingly created the market from thin air, and then other competitors came in to try and get a piece of that pie. So now, of course, the EV market is a red ocean market, no longer a blue ocean one. For a while, people assumed that gacha games were a red ocean market. I mean, why wouldn't it be? The narrative was established. Gacha games targeted a very specific demographic, and that demographic wanted to spend an insane amount of money on very hot women. But recently, we've come to find out that not only was this incorrect, it actually couldn't have been further from the truth. Infold came in and made us truly understand that the gacha game industry wasn't really a red ocean market just yet. There was still potential to create a blue ocean market, and that's exactly what they did with their games. Instead of targeting the well-known male demographic that wanted to collect wives and spend way too much money on them, they targeted the female market, who really liked the idea of having hot male husbands and spending way too much money on them. But targeting the female demographic didn't just end there. Infold saw very lucrative opportunities that other studios were not taking advantage of and proceeded to release their newest title, Infinity Nikki, which was a gacha game, but at its core was a dress-up game. It was an open world game with the goal of dressing up your character in different outfits that you loved, and they were onto something. When the game released, it received immediate success, reaching 10 million downloads on all platforms, PC, mobile, and even PS5. This is extremely impressive even for a free-to-play game. It's ridiculous. It truly showed that there was a demographic in gacha games that was ignored for years, and Infold was finally able to give them what they wanted. So how the hell did they manage to go from a rating of 4.2 stars out of 5 on release when it came to the Google Play Store to now finding themselves at 1.8?
Dang.
With their other games like Love in Deep Space also being affected by the crossfire, sitting at 3.3 stars out of 5 on the Google Play Store as opposed to 4.2 just a couple of months prior. And let's not forget the fact that Infinity Nikki released on Steam and is now sitting at a mostly negative review. How could such a successful game that truly created a new segment in gacha, a genre that's existed for over a decade, fall from grace so quickly and so violently? Well, there are actually many reasons, and we're going to go over them together. So, yeah, hope you're ready. Let's do this. Do you know what's more rare than a double rainbow? Finding a gacha game that doesn't have a 50-50 system. You just get the character you want. Isn't that crazy? After player feedback, this is exactly what Idere Restart did during their beta. Look, this game didn't reinvent the wheel. They took something that already works, which is turn-based combat, and added their own twists to it. You have some really cool sci-fi looking characters and a lot of interesting synergies. Not to mention a lot of cool animations too. But the twists don't end in the combat.
I truly do not like turn-based. I don't like it at all. I don't think there's not one turn-based game that I liked.
They stretched all the way over to the summoning system. One summon costs 100
and I
gems,
know guys that'll be like, yeah, but what about Persona? Listen, first of all, I never played Persona. Huh? Okay? And, turn-based is fine, too.
Which is the gacha standard. It's already way cheaper. Not to mention that when
it's
you start
boring
the game,
to
you
me.
get a targeted summon banner, which lets you get any of the SSR characters on release in just 40 pulls. You then proceed to build these characters, giving them different gear and upgrading their stats, all in preparation to either join a guild, which there are many of, you can even create your own guild, or joining the Global Invitational Tournament. You see, this game has PvP, but not the kind of PvP you're used to in gacha games. This isn't pay to win. It really all comes down to player skill. And you know what the best part about this is? This game is already out. It came out on June 5th, 2025. So if you're interested, make sure to click the link in the description or the pinned comment
I never
and
played
download
Final
the game
Fantasy either.
today. Thank you so much.
I
for
have
your
Final
restart
Fantasy,
for
but I
sponsoring
never
this
played
video.
it.
Alright, so Infold has actually been around for over a decade now.
It was a
the
gift
first game they've
before you
ever
said,
released
then why
was
did you
in
even get the
2012,
game?
and it was called Nikki Up to You. It was the first entry in the series of Nikki, and it was also a dress-up game, although still not very well known at the time. Now, to be clear, the main developer for these games has always been Paper Games, a Chinese game developer. But in 2022, they launched Infold, their new international brand.
Crazy word.
2024 was a very big year for Infold because they released 2 titles that truly revolutionized gacha. One of those games is, of course, Love in Deep Space.
Okay, this game definitely has a specific demographic. Well, I guess like the only turn-based games that are fun are like card games, because I guess that's technically turn-based. Like, you put your card down. Now it's my turn to decide. I guess like those are fun. But like these kind of games, I don't like.
Game truly showed us, once and for all, that females are not only as horny as men when it comes to their gacha games, but they make men look like rookies in comparison. Listen, bro, I'm not making this up, okay? Once upon a time, I streamed this game, and let me tell you, dude, you
That them
literally
ladies like?
get pounded. Like, literally. Like,
What
I'm not even joking.
the
You get,
freak
there
is
are cutscenes
this?
where you're getting pounded. By
What
these
the
male characters.
freak is this? Morgan, so what do you think about this game? What the heck is happening here?
Streamed this game, and let me tell you, dude, you literally
What
get
the heck?
pounded. Like, literally. Like, I'm not even joking. You get, there are cutscenes where you're getting pounded by these male characters, all right? Like, this is this is next
crazy.
level, and guess what? It made more money than we could have ever imagined. Ever since its release, it
Oh
has
my
been
goodness.
consistently in the top 3 biggest revenue generators in the entire gacha space. Look at this. It's making over $50
Titan
million
nose?
a month, sometimes making $90 million, making games like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, whatever else, look like amateurs. You understand? Things were clear as day. There was a market for these games, and they wanted more. Now look, when it comes to success in life, it's a combination of hard work and luck. In 2024, the Roblox game Dress to Impress was absolutely blowing up. And people,
Oh
whether
my
it be
gosh.
male or female, were
That
having a lot of fun dressing
right
up their
there.
characters.
Never played it, but Froppy plays Roblox, and Froppy freaking every second of the day we're like, yo, look at this from Just to Impress.
In this goofy ass game. All of a sudden, dress up games became very mainstream. So, of course, when Infinity Nikki launched in December 2024, the idea of a dress up game went from niche to mainstream, and people were very excited about it, resulting in its massive success. Yes, even though their website got hacked with this wonderful, wholesome message telling people to evaporate their soul out of their body, it still managed to do great. I mean, this was it. A cute, wholesome game in which you could just sit there and make up these awesome outfits in an open world setting, and hey, it's free. What else is there to ask for? And the gacha aspect of this game wasn't related to characters, it was related to outfits, or at least outfit pieces. And these were some of the outfits that you could earn through gacha pulls. The community absolutely fell in love with them.
The only
fun
thing
of community, they quickly took on the reputation of being
that
wholesome.
Roblox has,
their positivity.
I don't know if it still has it, but Froppy had me play with her, and there's a game. I mean, it's not really a game. It's just like a surface where you can draw whatever you want on it, and then there's like different servers and stuff, and you can like just draw on like a huge canvas. It was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And then you can walk around and like see other drawings that people did. Like people who were drawing some cool anime stuff too. It was dope. It's dope.
Beacon of hope in the midst of all the gacha drama that goes on 24/7 with people comparing their favorite game versus someone else's favorite game. At this point, it was hard to think that anything could go wrong. Infold was on a roll until they weren't. While the game did enjoy a lot of players, the revenue wasn't really reflecting its success. From December 2024 to January 2025, it made 50% of its revenue both in the Chinese markets and in the Western markets combined. This downwards trend would continue from January to February and wouldn't really recover by March. It certainly wasn't making as much revenue as a game like Love in Deep Space, and red flags started popping up until a nuclear eruption took place. Steam is easily one of the best reasons to ever become a PC gamer. Valve has proven time and time again that they're the only people to be trusted running a platform like this. There's a reason why it has so many people using it every single day. So of course, getting your game on this platform is a big deal because not everyone is willing to download your custom launcher. There are many PC gamers who prefer to have everything in their Steam library, and if it's not the case, it's a deal breaker. Seeing that revenue was on the downwards trend, Infinity Nikki was on the hunt for new players. So launching on Steam was an easy way to do that. Now look, usually paid games before releasing have pre-orders. That helps a company understand how much demand there is for the game, if the marketing's effective, and brings in some much needed cash before the game's release date. With gacha games though, seeing that they're free to play, they have something called pre-registration. If you make an account on their website, you pre-register. And if they meet pre-registration goals, as you can see here, you get rewards for each tier. Every single gacha game does this because it helps drive hype in anticipation of its release date. But there's no such thing as pre-registering on Steam. What there is though is the ability to wishlist a game you want to have, and you can do that for games that haven't released yet. So Infinity Nikki went ahead and set goals like they would in a pre-registration, but this time they'd be tied to the Steam wishlists. And as you can see, there was 4 different tiers here. The first one being 10,000 wishlists and it gives you a live wallpaper. The second one being 50,000 wishlists and it gives you concept art. The third goal is 100,000 wishlists and gives you a bunch of resonance crystals. Now, what are resonance crystals? Well, this is the gacha currency you need to wish, or gamble, and get new outfit pieces. There are 2 types of banners that you can wish on in the game.
They teaching
The
kids
first
gambling,
one
huh?
being a limited
I mean,
banner.
not just
This
kids,
only comes in for like 2 to 3 weeks.
It better not
You
be
need
kids with what they were
revelation
just showing me
crystals for
there.
it. The other banner is a permanent banner. It never leaves, and for this you need resonance crystals. So 100,000 wish list was showing resonance crystals. Awesome. But the fourth and final goal, being at 200,000 wish lists, was the final surprise. showing a shape of a gacha currency. People assumed that this one would be the Revelation Crystal, what you need to pull on the limited banner, which is probably the most important currency in the game. This only made sense because 200,000 was double the last goal, and the last goal was going to give you Resonite Crystals anyway. So of course, seeing that this community is very wholesome and tight-knit, they went ahead and wishlisted the hell out of this game on Steam, even though many of them already had the launcher. They reached 100,000, and then they managed to reach 200,000. But then they noticed something weird. The official Infinity Nikki account completely changed the image. It went from this, with the fourth and final image potentially looking like a Revelation Crystal, to it just being a chest of Resonite Crystals.
Oh,
like the third one. So in the first image, the 100,000 wishlist goal had 11 Resonite Crystals in the chest.
I mean, it could have been
and
accident.
People were assuming they were either going to get more Resonite Crystals on the fourth wishlist goal or Revelation Crystals. The image completely changed that, and instead of having 11 Resonite Crystals in the third goal, they switched it to 2, which is exactly what they ended up getting. And then the final surprise, the 200,000 wishlist goal, contained a chest of 8 crystals. So in total, they got 10 Resonite Crystals, when in reality, they should have gotten 11 just for the third goal. People were obviously outraged here, like, what? Why are you being so stingy over something so stupid? Like over 10 pulls, really? It's as if they were giving away real crystals. Like, what the hell was going on? The post celebrating 200,000 wishlists on Steam from Infinity Nikki with this changed image had 100 replies, and none of them were really happy. And after sufficient community backlash, they finally quote tweeted that tweet and said, you know what, guys? We're going to give you 10 Revelation Crystals. Thank you so much for being such amazing fans. This led many people to believe that they were hoping that the community wouldn't notice, but when they did, they ended up giving them the rewards they were meant to have in the first place anyway. So look, this might seem like a small incident to you, but so far this game has been nothing but perfect. You have to understand that. This was the first instance in which they did something so weird, so scummy, and in which they played with their community's trust. But hey, listen, the community, as I said, is wholesome. They were willing to get past this and get back to the game they loved. Unfortunately, though, this was only the beginning for Infold's absolute roller coaster ride.
That's why he said how to destroy.
So look, one thing you have to understand is that the release on Steam was going to coincide with a massive update, which was the 1.5 update. This had features the community was very excited about, like a co-op mode. Before this, you weren't really able to play with other players. Your world only had you. But in 1.5, you were going to be able to play with a friend, exploring the world together and showing off your outfits. Additionally, there was going to be a full-fledged dye system. Before this, each outfit had like 2 or 3 colors that you could pull using the gacha mechanic. But here you had a seemingly endless amount of colors with their different palettes, capable of drastically changing any outfit.
Morgan, have you played this game before?
I can't really overstate just how excited the community was about dyeing. In fact, Infinity Nikki had hyped the hell out of it by releasing an event in 1.4 called Caring for the Bulkhead, or Bulkwood, or whatever. You can make fun of me in the comments for my spelling. This event had you collect different plants, fruits, and shellfish in the open world so that you can combine them in order to create different dyes. You then tested all those different dyes on the bulkhead. Players loved this event, trying to figure out all the different combinations, and collected a gazillion of these materials in anticipation for the 1.5 update so that they can dye their outfits. April 28th was going to be the game's release date on Steam, and 1.5 would follow. This was going to be a new chapter in this game's history that would change everything. And it did indeed change everything, except everything for the worst. And players were completely blindsided by this. You see, prior to the 1.5 update, when you would launch the game and play through the tutorial, it would show you the backstory. Nikki is preparing for her prom, so she goes to her attic, opens the closet, and finds one of her mother's old dresses. That dress turns out to be breathtaking, and for whatever reason, it starts dancing with Nikki all of a sudden. After some short dance moves, the dress puts itself on Nikki and transports her to another world. In this world, she meets a goddess that looks really cool, by the way, who tells her that she used to know her mother a long time ago and that now she has to save this world by collecting all the different miracle outfits. So even if you weren't a story player or someone who necessarily cares about lore, this intro still managed to somehow captivate you, to reel you into this new world that you just found yourself in. Not to mention, this isn't generic in any way. It's not the typical gacha story. It's original and beautiful and leaves you with just enough questions to keep going. However, when old players launched the game after the 1.5 update, they were met with this cutscene. It was all so sudden, there was no prior warning, and they were like, what the hell's going on? They were met with this new strange character that they had never met before, talking to them about how they're a goddess or whatever, and then they found themselves doing another tutorial even though they've been playing the game for a long time. People were wondering, what the hell is
Yo,
this?
it
Some
looks
kind of
so
prank? What's going
clean.
on here? Well,
It looks so clean there to be a turn-based game.
game
Like,
for a
look
long
at it.
time. People
And
were
the next thing you know, you get into a fight. Ah! Ah! Ah!
wondering, what the hell is this? Some kind of prank? What's going on here? Well, it turned out that the whole story changed. Okay, it was retconned. That's the term. It was retconned, and everything you've known
How the heck
beforehand
you gonna do
didn't
that?
matter anymore. There was no dress in the attic. Your mother, who cares about her? You having to save the world? We don't know why. You're just a goddess or whatever, and yeah, just go do you. Like, nothing made sense.
How the heck you gonna do
Players
that to
were
a game?
absolutely baffled. Why would you change such a perfect story? It didn't make any sense. Here are some comparisons, right? You start in the attic in the old one. In the new one, you just start somewhere unknown. You have no idea where you're at. Anna, that woman with the white hair that you meet in Chains in the first intro, who was your mother's friend, just appears randomly, like with no cool cutscene or whatever, in the second new intro. This is also without mentioning the fact that it just looked uglier, almost like it was rushed for whatever reason. Some people had the theory that Infol did this to make co-op mode make sense lore-wise, since the new tutorial had an emphasis on different worlds. But seriously, how stupid is that? No one needs lore or a justification as to why you can play with your friend. No one asked for this. There was no one who saw this new tutorial and thought, man, I'm really glad they did this. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they just
Exactly.
broke it in the process of trying to fix something that didn't need fixing. This is without us going into detail about how they butchered some beloved side characters by retconning the story. One character that was beloved by the community, because of course most of them are female, is Giovanni, this dreamy looking fella right here. The story being retconned made his whole story not really make much sense anymore, which is wonderful news to many players who play the game. Now you might be thinking, okay, I get it. I get why Infinity Nikki players are so pissed. I'd be pissed
What is
too.
them stuck
But
in
buddy, we're not
looking
even
at-
halfway through this mess yet, so hold your
Kinda-
horses.
okay, I can-
Things
I
are
can
about
see
to
it.
get way worse. Look, if you play gacha games, you know how the gacha system works. You pull on the banner of a character you want, using either the currency you earn in-game or one that you buy in the store. You can get really lucky initially and get what you want, or you can get really unlucky, but not too unlucky because there's a pity system that limits how unlucky you can get before giving you what you want. If you want to go the extra mile, or if you're rich, or just irresponsible with your money, you can
Or
usually
just
pull for the
irresponsible with your
same
money.
character multiple times, and their copies would give them more abilities, making them OP as hell. Now, based on how lucky or unlucky you are, and if we're going to assume that you're only buying the currency, not earning it in-game, prices have always varied. But recently, because of pressure from the United States, Genshin was forced to show exactly how much a character would cost if you were to be lucky or the unluckiest possible. And as you can see here, it's $1.98
That's good,
to
man.
475.2. So if you bought all your currency from the store in Genshin Impact and got extremely unlucky, reaching Heart Pity at 90 wishes, you would have paid $475.2. Keep that in mind. Now, in Infinity Nikki, you're not pulling for a character, you're pulling for an outfit. But not just one outfit, not one piece, you're pulling for multiple pieces
One
of that same
piece?
outfit. Usually, a 5-star limited outfit will have around 10 different pieces. So you're going to be wishing a lot, but thankfully, the chances of getting a duplicate are very low. And before the die system was even introduced, the way you could get different colors for the outfit was to 1. Get the whole outfit, 2. Get 180 wishes, or 3. Get 230 wishes, with each one granting you a different color. Now look, overall, a lot of players collected currency in-game in order to get these outfits, but if you were to do this with money only, with no currency collected in-game, this could amount to close to 600 USD. Trying to get all the pieces of an outfit, plus getting all colors, including the 230 wish one. Even compared to other gacha games, this was more expensive on average. So it comes as no surprise that when 1.5 dropped,
You're
and
at
the
work?
very hyped up limited outfit banners came out, people couldn't believe the fact that instead of having 10 pieces,
You're working on
these
Alex at work?
outfits had 11 pieces, which meant that you had to pull an average of 20 more times in order to get that 11th piece, making the overall banner or outfit acquisition even more expensive than it used to be. This, just like the story getting retconned, came out of nowhere with no prior communication. And speaking of no prior communication, things would only get worse in that regard. You see, the endgame content for Infinity Nikki is called Mira Crown. Think of it like Infinity Nikki's version of Dress to Impress. You have to come up with different combinations of outfits throughout very specific challenges in order to progress. And once you did, you got currency that you could use to wish on banners. Prior to 1.5, these would reset every 2 weeks, allowing you to get an ample amount of currency twice every month from the endgame content. When 1.5 released, though, people found out that it would take 3 weeks for it to reset as opposed to 2 weeks,
Dang.
making it even harder to get currency
first of all-
without spending money. And you're over here dealing with the fact that there's an 11th piece
Never
on an
mind.
outfit you want. Yeah, it's just been punch
I
after
never play
punch
these
to
games,
the
so it
face,
could
but
be
we're far
common.
from being done. The die system that was so incredibly long awaited was a massive disappointment. Those materials that people spent a very long time farming in preparation for this system were now deemed useless. You now needed a new kind of currency that costs money in order to unlock the colors. And just as you thought that this already sucks, well, it sucks even more because you have to unlock the color you want on each individual piece of clothing, which means you need to unlock it 11 times. 11 times! So unless you were willing to cough out hundreds of dollars on currency packs, you could kiss that sweet dream of having a functioning die system goodbye. This was especially hurtful to the players because much of these colors were named after the fruit materials that were present during the dyeing event. Player trust was being squandered at every second, and it was obvious much of these changes were last second. What was going on at Infold for this to happen? Well, a lot of incompetence, but also potentially illegal activities. Someone had made a lengthy post on the Infinity Nikki Reddit highlighting the illegal practices that Infold was committing in their game. For example, someone looked into the game files and found that the drop rates for different items in an outfit were not the same, with the most wanted aspects of an outfit like the hairstyle and the dress itself being lower than shoes, socks, and accessories. This is not in any way, shape, or form specified in-game, going against European gambling laws and also American FTC laws. At the same time, the game had these
So
ridiculous
they have to say that now.
discounts on items that didn't make any sense. For example, one item you could buy in 1.5 was a bathtub. And as you can see here, there's a discount, with the original price being 49 euros and it being sold for 10 euros. Dubious discounts like this are illegal by the FTC and European consumer laws. This wasn't just present in Europe, this was present in all regions, and dubious
You did the
discounts
prompt
go
with
against
Nova's Whip?
all consumer
Okay.
laws, period. People complained heavily about this and threatened legal action, so Infold gave in. They removed the discount, and miraculously, it seems
Oh
that
yeah,
the
I'm
final
done with
price
this game
is
now.
$14. Wow. But listen, all these things suck so much, but they've been mostly tied to game features and monetization, right? Well, yeah, that's because we haven't talked about
I'd be
one of
done
the
with it,
biggest
especially if I'm
issues
paying money.
with 1.5, and that's the fact that it made the game almost unplayable because of bugs, like this one right here.
What the heck? She driving
This
a bike
was
on
not
water.
present in the game before 1.5.
And she
What
died.
happened? Or how about this
And
one
she
right
died?
here? The floating bike. Like, come on. how
That's
does this
a
happen?
motorbike.
Someone commented, insane. Another retcon. Nikki now literally a bodiless no-clip entity. I should mention, though, that not all bugs were funny. Some people genuinely couldn't log into the game, and if they did, it would immediately just crash. But there really were a lot of funny bugs. Oh, Nikki's opening a door. Oh, the door teleported. There was even a bug in which the new character that shows up in the new intro doesn't even appear. And the person who posted it said, maybe the best bug in 1.5 version. Dude, people hated this new story. Actually, I think it was safe to say that people hated every single aspect of 1.5 and were hoping to go back to 1.4 at this point. It got so bad that they started threatening boycotts on the Infinity Nikki official subreddit as well as the official Infinity Nikki Discord. They just couldn't handle this anymore. To their surprise, though, Infold revealed their true colors and started banning or muting anyone that would say the word boycott. So what did the community do? They started using the word girlcott. This movement started quickly spreading even outside of Infinity Nikki, reaching other games from Infold like Levin Deep Space. It even got reported on by Vice and other publications because the community was doing everything they could to let the world know our game is going through the shitter. But if you thought that only Western players were participating in this girlcott, then you'd be mistaken. Because this even reached the Chinese community, who went all the way to Steam forums to warn new players not to download the game, as you
Dang.
can see from all these posts over here. Bad, 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 everybody don't play. Do not get in, this game makes you unfortunate. This was now a global movement, and they were pissed. And it forced Infinity Nikki to make some sort of a statement. And they came out with this apology at the end of April, shortly after 1.5 had released, saying, "Apology letter regarding version 1.5 gaming experience. Dear stylists, hope this message finds you well. First and foremost, we would like to extend our sincerest apologies. We are truly sorry that we were unable to provide you with a stable experience upon the release of the new version. We understand that every stylist's love and trust in Infinity Nikki is something we must cherish and uphold with the utmost dedication. With a desire to offer Nikki and all of you a more vibrant and colorful journey, we had planned various new content for this update, designing outfits in diverse styles, creating
Do you play
fun,
games like that,
engaging
Titan?
gameplay, and crafting unique landscapes.
I know you play a lot of
Nikki
games.
could embark on thrilling adventures across parallel worlds, discovering endless surprises and joy in Mirrorland. However, this time,
play, like,
we fell
gacha games?
short of expectations. Following the version update, we received a lot of feedback regarding game experience issues, primarily concerning the DIY workshop, co-op feature, and overall game performance, including issues such as login failures, crashes, and resolution problems. We have been carefully collecting each report and immediately working with our teams to address these issues. We sincerely apologize for the issues that disrupted Nikki's dazzling and dreamlike journey. Following an urgent review by the development team, we have already resolved nearly 100 issues, improved the stability of multiplayer servers, and carried out emergency fixes for certain visual display issues. Moving forward, we will continue to monitor the game's performance to ensure these problems do not reoccur. Below is a detailed update on the fixes. So here they give a list of around 13 different issues that they seemingly fixed. Then they go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, saying additional clarifications based on community feedback. Number 1, number of pieces in the 5-star outfits, Snowy Ballad, and Crimson Feather. In version 1.5, the Bubble Season update introduced multiplayer gameplay to create a richer, more engaging adventure for Nikki and all stylists. This idea also shaped the design direction of the new outfits. From the early design stage, we intended the 5-star outfits to embody themes of collaboration and companionship, symbolized by the story of the ever-blazing bird sacrificing herself to save the iceborne mermaid. Thus, we introduced dedicated dynamic effects, transformation animations,
So is gacha
and
game
unique
just literally
compositions
considered
for these
like
outfits. In Snowy
like
Ballad,
what that
we
is?
introduced highly dynamic special effects for the pieces and special aurora effects for the hair. The Crimson Feather outfit was designed around the core concept of rebirth, featuring a unique ash form appearance and different transformation effects depending on whether Nikki is in the air or on the ground. In addition, to align with the theme of the new version, we introduced multiplayer features in the design of both the decoration item and dance move. The Eternal Snowdew decoration now features a special co-op interaction, and for the Everlasting Hope dance move, we attempted to create a co-op dance mode based on the original dance move. Both the versions were developed with dedicated custom music compositions. To enrich styling combinations, the total number of pieces for these outfits was set at 11. We sincerely apologize for the lack of prior communication regarding this adjustment. Moving forward, we guarantee that the number of pieces in 5-star outfits will not exceed 11, and major changes will be communicated in advance through official channels. So look, the majority of this paragraph was just mumbo jumbo. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense to include this. I don't care about your vision for the outfit. People are just concerned about it going from 10 to 11 and costing more, and their logic was because it was meant to be in the spirit of cooperativeness or whatever the hell, or new features. But you have to keep in mind, in one of the outfits, there are 11 pieces, and you can't even see one of the pieces, which are the socks. It's hidden behind the dress. You literally cannot see it. So what's the point? In any case, this was them saying that 11 pieces are here to stay, but hey, we won't increase it unless we let you know in the future. This is kind of hard to believe since they already did it without notifying anyone to begin with. They then say, number 2, duration changes for the Mirror Crown Pinnacle contest. To offer a richer and more diverse styling experience, the Mirror Crown Pinnacle contest and the special effects are periodically refreshed and updated. As each version varies in duration, the duration of each Mirror Crown Pinnacle contest has also differed accordingly. We have taken note of the community's discussions regarding the contest duration. In response, we are planning to end the current contest at 4 a.m. on May 16th, with the next contest starting immediately at 4 a.m. on May 16th. Starting from the next cycle, the Mirror Crown Pinnacle contest will be held twice a month, starting on the 1st and 16th of each month. So hey, I guess they fixed this, but only because the community spoke up. Otherwise, they would have been completely fine keeping it 3 weeks at a time instead of 2, giving the community less currency to wish on their favorite outfits. They then continue, number 3, DIY workshop design intentions and future plans. The original intention behind the DIY workshop was to provide stylists with greater freedom in outfit design and styling combinations.
So stylist is
We
the
have
name of the
received
people
all of your feedback and are carefully reviewing the current designs to further optimize the DIY workshop experience. In addition, for fully evolved outfits, we plan to introduce a more advanced dyeing system in the future, offering expanded customization options and richer visual effects. If you have suggestions regarding the DIY workshop, please feel free to email us at our support email. Every piece of feedback from you is a driving force for us. Your voices guide Infinity Nikki's path forward. In the future, we will conduct thorough reviews, strengthen our QA processes, and approach every update to prevent such issues from happening again. As an expression of our heartfelt apologies, we will be distributing the following compensation to all players via in-game mail, which are 10 Revelation Crystals, 10 Resonite Crystals, and 1,200 Diamonds. So 10 wishes on the limited banner, 10 wishes on the permanent banner, and 1,200 diamonds for you to buy 10 wishes on whichever banner you
Oh,
want.
with loot
They then
boxes.
end this by saying, finally, we would like to speak from the heart. Version 1.5
Like if the
marks a
game
major
is
milestone
primarily
for
about
Infinity.
that, because it's like in Source games now, they have like the loot boxes. Would that still be considered? I mean, I guess not because it's not primarily based around that. Yeah, never mind. That doesn't make any sense.
In this version, we took a bold step forward, introducing co-op gameplay for the first time. We hope Nikki's journey can now stretch even further across the vast sea of stars, where every heart longing for warmth can find connection and companionship.
It's always funny
Every
when
member of
people
our
talk
team
about
shares the
like
same
their
deep
games
love
like
for the
that.
Nikki IP,
But I guess
and
people
treats every
look
version
at games
update
that
with
way,
the
so
utmost
that's
care
why
and
they do.
commitment. We stand together with all our stylists. We may have yet to build a world that fully lives up to your expectations, but we have never stopped running forward because to us, Infinity Nikki has always been more than just a game. It is a dream built over 5 years from thousands of sketches and endless passion. Like many of you, we adjust the camera angles again and again to capture Nikki's perfect moments, and we cheer with joy at the beauty of each new outfit. These are not just empty words. We have always held tightly to the original dream and passion, which is to make Infinity Nikki a world worth staying in. That has always been and will always will be our reason for loving this world. Thank you once again for your support. We know that there is still much for us to improve, but because of your companionship, Nikki's journey can continue to push the boundaries of imagination. Please give us one more chance to let Nikki's starlight continue to shine for us all and to keep the warmth in our hearts forever burning bright. Sincerely, the Infinity Nikki Dev Team. So yeah, it was definitely a whole lot of yapping. And unfortunately, even though that
A whole
last
lot
part
of
was very
yapping.
heartwarming, and you kind of do feel bad for the devs because these decisions were probably not theirs to make, there are many things that were not addressed, like how the dice system was clearly supposed to be something you earn in-game but became something you buy with money, or how they intentionally tried to deceive consumers with their dubious discounts. And let's not forget the biggest issue that people had, which was them changing the story for no reason. For many, this apology was lackluster, even if the compensation and apology that you received in the in-game mail was fairly generous. But hey, you know what's funny? Speaking of being generous, there were many players logging in to find that their crystal balance was in the negative, something usually reserved for people who buy crystals and then charge back with their credit card
That's
in
what they
order to
do.
try to pull a case of fraud. You see, there's this pass that you can buy for $5 that gives you currency every single day. Well, at some point, the game was bugged beyond recognition and it would count you logging in twice, something that the player had no control over. So they started taking those crystals away, not to mention this person right here posting this post saying, I'm going to cry, spending 20 euros on the game, and then for whatever reason, logging in the next day and seeing that the balance was in the negative, even though they didn't charge back or anything. Speaking of that monthly pass, in order to get the daily currency that you paid for, you have to log in, otherwise you miss out on them whenever you don't. Someone had spent $5 on the pass and wanted to log in order to get the daily currency, but they couldn't because the game was so damn bugged. They sent an email to support, and this is what they had to say. Sorry for the late reply. This inability to log in resulting in rewards not being claimed is not compensable. Please log in on another device as soon as possible the next time you experience the situation. Thank you for your patience. Bro, I don't know who the hell's training this customer support team, but that is not how you approach the situation. This, of course, was disastrous. People were spending money on the game, couldn't log in because, well, it wasn't their fault. They were being penalized for these bugs, and support had this to say. Wow. But don't worry, because a higher-up in the support team saw this disastrous response and decided to take things into their own hands, sending another message to this person saying, Dear Stylist, we noticed that our previous response to your inquiry was incorrect and we apologize for the inconvenience caused to you. Please provide us with your UID, the symptoms of your inability to log in, and the number of days affected. We will further verify the situation and promptly communicate with you on the follow-up situation. Best regards, Infinity Nikki support team. Well, that's cool, right? That's way better than that last response. Way to go, right? Well, 12 hours later, he gets another message, and it's, Hi, Stylist. We have detected that you have not responded for a long time, and this ticket will be automatically closed. If you have any further questions, please initiate a new inquiry. Thank you for your understanding. Total, unforgivable chaos in every way, shape, and form. And after that first apology, there was nothing else coming from them. Absolute radio silence. The community was still not happy, mind you, because the apology barely covered half of the grievances they had. But this all changed on May 18th, a bit over 2 weeks since 1.5 came out, and it somehow managed to get even worse. On May 18th, Infinity Nikki would put out yet another statement saying, Dear Stylist, this is the Infinity Nikki Dev Team. First and foremost, we sincerely thank you for your unwavering support and love for Infinity Nikki. Since the launch of version 1.5, insufficient preparation during pre-release testing led to unexpected live issues, resulting in an unstable game environment and unsatisfactory content. We fully acknowledge that this is our responsibility, and addressing these shortcomings remains a top priority for our team moving forward. Additionally, we encountered technical challenges during development that require more time to resolve thoroughly. Following rigorous assessment, we decided to extend version 1.5's end date to ensure greater stability and prevent similar issues from reoccurring. We're acutely aware that these recent issues have impacted your experience and damaged the trust and affection you've placed in us. To all stylists, we offer our deepest apologies. So then they go ahead and outline that version 1.5 is going to end on June 12th, a delay of a few weeks. And then they proceed to say, weekly tasks, Starlit Pursuit, delay notice. After version 1.5 launched, we received extensive feedback on co-op features and gameplay. Based on this, we are optimizing related systems, and the new weekly tasks, Starlit Pursuit, originally scheduled for May 20th, will now debut in version 1.6. This is an event with co-op being the main focus, right? They then continue saying, this delay allows us to refine task mechanics for a smoother experience. Additional details will be announced at a later date. Please stay tuned. In light of this change, 360 Starlit Crystals will be given to all players as compensation. That's 3 wishes, okay? They continue, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to every stylist for your understanding and continued support. Throughout the development journey since launch, we've faced a multitude of challenges and uncertainties, from optimizing performance across diverse devices with varying capabilities to tackling unexpected technical roadblocks, and many of these hurdles were unprecedented for our team. Rather than offering premature communication, we chose to tackle these problems methodically, responding to your expectations only once we had secured concrete solutions. But rest assured, we've heard your feedback loud and clear. The Threads of Reunion storyline's absence in this version was never intended as a removal from Infinity Nikki's narrative. Its associated outfit remains on our development roadmap. Due to technical hurdles in version 1.5, we were unable to properly refine the introduction of the Sea of Stars chapter and the narrative setup for Threads of Reunion, which regrettably led to confusion. These elements are planned for future updates. Plans are underway to expand tiered cumulative top-up rewards in upcoming versions. New gameplay systems will undergo rigorous design scrutiny to ensure seamless integration into the open-world experience and more consistency. On top of that, adaptation, performance, and stability issues across various platforms, including PlayStation, have been identified and are being resolved systematically. There are also unlisted adjustments under discussion. Some changes require extended development cycles, but we commit to implementing them through phased updates. We will share progress once plans solidify and milestones are reached. In the meantime, we humbly ask for your continued patience and trust. So finally, around halfway through this paragraph, we got some sort of a confirmation that they're aware that people hate this new intro. But they only were talking about the associated outfit to that original story. And they said, don't worry guys, it's still coming. No mention of the entire story changing and them maybe going back to the old one. They then said, oh yeah, due to technical hurdles, we had to kind of rush this intro. Well, how is that my problem?
Yeah.
How about you just don't release it because the old one was
exactly
perfect.
release it when it's like good,
this, especially not to introduce co-op. Who cares? And then my favorite part is that how as soon as they're done talking about what pisses people off the most, this change in story, they say plans are underway to expand tiered cumulative top-up rewards in upcoming versions. Dude, who asked? Like, who asked? It's like, hey guys, we know you hate the fact that we changed the story. Anyway, if you spend money, you'll be getting more rewards. It's like, I don't care, bitch. How tone deaf is that? They then continue and say, we fully recognize that our current communication efforts may not meet every stylist's expectations. To address this, we are launching a new initiative, the Miraland Roundtable, to openly address player concerns and collaboratively explore solutions. We sincerely invite all stylists to share their feedback and suggestions through the following dedicated channels. Your candid feedback, both critical and encouraging, has prompted deeper reflection. Drafting this message stirs mixed emotions, guilt over delayed promises, yet gratitude for your unwavering support. As compensation for version 1.5 shortcomings and schedule changes, all stylists will receive diamonds, as well as energy crystals every day from June 5th to June 12th, totaling 960 diamonds and 8 energy crystals. Thank you for standing with us. Together we'll make Infinity Nikki shine brighter than ever. So, yeah, another non-apology. Pretty much not reassuring players in any way, shape, or form. This whole Miraland Roundtable is too little too late. You've already implemented changes that are ridiculous in scope and size without even notifying the community. How are they supposed to trust you with this roundtable now? There are 444 replies to this tweet, and let me tell you, most of them are furious. Because as this comment right here points out, 220 pity not being lowered, barely addressing Retcon's story, no addressing the horrible dying system, no addressing the Mira crown changes, but hey, we got 8 pulls. That was the sentiment in the majority of the community, both global and Chinese. So it didn't really take long, but people who were very big fans of the game painfully chose to uninstall after seeing just how tone deaf the dev team was. And this once wholesome community, this once very positive and contagiously nice community, was just riddled with people who had lost all hope, who were depressed at the fact that this game was never going to be the game they loved just one update ago. It was very sad to see because, as I said in the beginning, in the gacha community, this was seen as the beacon of hope. The one game that was immune to the very stupid gacha drama that plagues other games every single day online. And some people were getting tired of people telling them that they uninstalled because the posts were getting that much common on the Infinity Nikki unofficial Reddit as well as other places online. But why did this happen? Why did this developer shoot themselves in the foot with a goddamn shotgun when their community loved their game? Well, there are a few theories. Let's talk about them. As I pointed out before, the revenue for this game has just been going down every single month fairly consistently. Before the game released, the CEO of the studio revealed that Infinity Nikki was being developed by over 1,000 people. Okay, this was a very big team. Of course, this includes outsourcers. Not everyone actually works at Infold, but you get the point. This cost a lot of money to make. So look, like this post on Reddit explains it, there are many theories here, but if you worked a corporate job before and everything was going well until one of your bosses was replaced with some idiot, this might seem very familiar to you. It happens too often.
Oh yeah, that's happened.
Maybe
That's
a
happened to
new
me
boss
before.
comes in, they have ego issues, they're insecure, they have imposter syndrome, they want people to think that they're smart, so they make these crazy major changes that no one ends up liking, and they
And
end up
people-
screwing up the whole company.
Yep.
This is maybe what's happening at Infold. But interestingly enough, this hasn't stopped them from aggressively recruiting in their Shanghai office. And you gotta wonder why. Maybe it's for their money printer Love and Deep Space, or maybe because they laid off a lot of Infinity Nikki devs that were originally on the game and are replacing them with cheaper labor. Who knows? What I do know for certain though is that this game was a breath of fresh air in the gacha community, and it made an important segment if players feel like they're finally validated with a game that meant something for them. Are they going to be able to get a game like that again? Well, I hope so, because they deserve it. But that's not to say that there aren't any Infinity Nikki players hoping that the game will redeem itself. Those still exist, and you know what? For their sake, I hope that that will be the case. But if you ask my opinion, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
He wants it
Anyway,
to
thanks so much
end.
for watching the video until the end. I really, really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is, which should be in a few days from now. I love you so much, and yeah, take care. Mwah.
No problem, man. Have a good one. Gosh.
Bada bing, bada boom.
There was a viral tweet recently. It's something along the lines of a woman's notes app holds more mystery, more intrigue, more truths than any film. Listen, I don't know exactly what it means, but I do know that my notes app is just like high security clearance level type stuff. I mean, I have my whole brain is on there. Grocery list, like new restaurants that I want to try out, directions on how to fix my stove, the emotional text message that I never sent but I redrafted 25 times. Like all of that is in my notes app, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. A lot of people speculate that a famous TikToker and influencer by the name of Kathy Vu, they speculate that she, like us, had a very colorful notes app. So she mainly did voiceover TikToks. I actually came across her page before I even knew about this case, before this case even took place. I felt like we had very similar aesthetics. Like she loved everything pink, pastel. She had this moving out series that was actually very fun to watch. And
Ooh,
I think
that
that's
episode.
how her
What about
social
this
media
episode?
just started blowing
seen
up,
it?
like taking off.
I'm
She had
guessing.
this very sweet way of speaking.
When I navigated dating before I met my boyfriend, I literally used to think that I had to prove to the people that I dated that I didn't need much from them.
And it just
because
kind of made you feel like, huh,
weird
she
corn
feels
pig.
like an older sister. Or she feels
Yeah,
like
they
a
do be
sister
doing that.
telling me about her day.
Zara.
She's also a little bit inspirational. She would showcase her lifestyle, which was, I wouldn't even say it's like normal. It's just really nice. Like she had a very nice lifestyle. She had just moved into this new luxury apartment, bought a ton of these like cute kitchenwares, and she would show everyone hacks on like how to do your laundry the right way, like what to check before you move into a new place. She also gave a lot of relationship advice. She would post motivational workout videos. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to imagine that she had a lot of young girls looking up to this seemingly perfect life online. So in one TikTok, she talked about her relationship and all the things that her boyfriend would do for her. it's kind of giving the audience.
Oh yeah, I saw that
Oh,
one.
this is
We
what I
saw
want
it,
you
Morgan.
doing
I was
what
waiting for you, but you know you probably were busy. But we watched it. Yeah. Wow. That was definitely something. But why did you send like you showed me a video like that? It even have no like there was no like it even end. It even end really. But I guess some of these do be like that.
This is how you should be cared for. If he wanted to, he would type of advice video. She writes text in the TikTok while she shows off clips of him doing all these things for her. And it says, things my boyfriend does that have forever raised my standards. Always carries my luggage for me. Always down to travel and do something spontaneous. Shows me his favorite things and is open to my interest even if they're out of his comfort zone. Is the most practical and thoughtful gift giver and pays attention to my interests. But most importantly, he caters to my emotional needs, which allows me to be my most authentic, weird self. She even posted a TikTok showcasing a MacBook that he had bought her for her birthday. And people were looking up to this relationship. I mean, they were commenting about how this is how boyfriends should be treating their girlfriends.
Just buying them everything? She just said Okay, let me just continue.
This is the new standard.
The new standard,
and then everything absolutely
he gets me everything I want.
Kathy's boyfriend was wanted by Interpol for a double homicide. And Kathy Lou herself was arrested for tampering with a crime scene. Authorities would find a notes app on her phone filled with a list of cleaning supplies that they think was used in cleaning up the crime scene to a murder.
Wow.
A murder that allegedly, the authorities theorize, her boyfriend had committed. They also believe that her boyfriend bought her that MacBook very soon after. Social media has now...
You see? She's like, oh, this is my standard. This is your standard? Okay. Keep it. You can keep it to yourself. You're probably working? Oh.
That was her thank you for cleaning up the crime scene gift. Let's get into what happened.
You're back, Brad? Oh, copyright. Huh. If you would have heard what this was said, Brad. Oh.
This is still a developing case, and this is just what we know as of the production date, or rather, like what we know of when this video is posted. With the trial coming up, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more information that comes out with the legal process. I will say though, okay, nobody has been convicted of a crime. People have been charged. There are theories of why they've done things. There's speculations, but this is just all theories at the end of the day. We're not going to know if they're guilty until it's proved in court.
Wait, so the boyfriend and Kathy are both arrested or bailed, or?
So basically, the boyfriend has another accomplice that was arrested for capital murder. So the boyfriend and the accomplice, another guy, are arrested for capital murder. They have not been granted bail, and Kathy has been granted bail, and she has much.
This is this new standard.
much lesser charges of tampering with evidence, I believe. I will say though that this case, even on the social media, but also the mainstream.
Wait, first of all,
the mainstream
tampering with evidence. Isn't she an accessory? Hold up, what is it called? Like, isn't that what it is, an accessory? Well, no, not accessory. What is it called, like, when you know somebody did something, but you don't tell nobody? What is that called? Like, if you knew somebody took somebody out, and you didn't tell nobody. She probably enough. Yeah, but she bought things to clean up the blood. Did he just come home? Oops, I just randomly got blood on me. Oh, don't worry, I'll clean it. Come on now, Morgan. Come on now.
Front of this has centered more around Kathy Vu. She's become the main topic of discussion with this case because I think, for one, it's fascinating that someone can have such a quote open or transparent public internet life, if you will, and then turn around and have such dark things happening behind the scenes. I do understand the fascination of that. And even just the contrast itself of her being this very soft voice girl with like a love for Sanrio and then allegedly being involved in a brutal, gruesome double homicide. I can understand that there's a lot of shock and intrigue, but it is important to remember that there are two other parties involved. And I think because there's just not a lot of information on them, everyone has just been laser focused on Kathy Vu. And I will say that even this episode will have more information on Kathy.
She thought it was ketchup. Man, ketchup gets out easier than some other stuff.
Went down. But hopefully that
She
will
was
change
like, "Oh,
as the trial moves.
did you go? Did you eat out?" You're like, "What do you mean? You have ketchup all over your shirt. Don't worry, I'll clean it. Just give it to me." "Oh no, it's cool. No, give it to me. It's okay."
Forward, and we will get more information on the two other perpetrators. But with that being said, let's get into it. In 2009, a reporter/writer named Evan Ratcliffe disappeared.
Yeah, but it's like, I feel like one thing that also comes to mind, Morgan, when people get caught up, right? Like, look at her face. This is her this is her photo, right? This is her photo. And this is just me. But this is her photo, Morgan, when she got arrested. This girl looked overly like, oh, they finally got me. You know what I mean? Because I've seen people who, like, obviously some people who have still committed but didn't think they were going to get caught. Morgan, they be crying, blubbering, face red. Look at her. She just like, look at that. She know what she in for. Look at her face. She like, I guess another day. That's what she's doing. Oh my gosh, I bet she got a whole bunch of them.
Kathy has been granted bail, and she has much
I
lesser
rewanted it.
charges. She's become the main internet life, if you will, and then turn around and have such dark things happening behind the scenes. I do understand the fascination of that. And even just the contrast itself of her being this very soft voice girl with like a love for Sanrio and then allegedly being involved in a brutal, gruesome double homicide. I can understand that there's a lot of shock and intrigue, but it is important to remember that there are two other parties involved. And I think because there's just not a lot of information on them,
she's like, dang, I guess I'll go. Exactly. Because listen, right, I'm telling you this right now. If they randomly come up to your door, Morgan, time to go, right? Morgan not gonna be like, what the heck are you doing? You'll be like, oh, you're being charged for what? Right? And then they just handcuff you, throw you, and then put you and take pictures. Morgan not gonna sit there and just, Morgan be like, what, did they find out that I took a little bit of money out of the candy jar? Oh, nah. No, I know. That's what I said. Like, I understand. Like, there's sometimes that that there's people like that, but she's just an ordinary random TikTok chick, right? She's just an ordinary random TikTok girl, and she's suspiciously calm when they arresting her, and obviously I'm pretty sure they told her why, because he is a murderer. So, and she's just calm. I don't know. I mean, we have been desensitized in the world. So I guess she could just also be like, oh, really? Huh? Like, it's not, like, real to her. But listen, I'm just playing devil's advocate,
Say that even this episode will have more information on Kathy as of right now, since she was the public figure when all of this went down. But hopefully that will change as the trial moves forward, and we will get more information on the two other perpetrators. But with that being said, let's get into it. In 2009, a reporter/writer named Evan Ratcliffe disappeared. 2009. Okay, well, he tried to disappear.
He looks like, you know who he looks like, bro? He looks like Edge. I don't know if you guys have seen WWE. I don't know what happened to this guy, so listen, I'm not like, listen, sorry for whatever happened to him if something happened to him. But yo. Like, if you guys have seen WWE, He looks like Edge. Like imagine him with long hair and blonde hair. The rated R superstar. Oh my gosh.
Disappeared. 2009. Okay, well, he tried to disappear. It was a challenge. He wanted to see, in the era of Facebook, Instagram, cell phones, security cameras on every street corner, he wanted to see if he could hide somewhere in the world without his readers finding him. He offered up $5,000 for anyone that could find him, and they had 1 month to do so.
Oh, dang.
This was like a whole movement on social media. People were forming groups, like watchdog groups. They were forming Instagram pages. Everyone was trying to find him, not even just for the $5,000, but for the fact that they could. They wanted to prove something. He was found 3 weeks later by a team of civilians who were interested in the reward money. 3 weeks.
So did he post anything on social media during that time?
Yes, he left little nuggets here and there, but they weren't big. They were really not big at all.
Yeah. You know the TikTok that try to find where I am with the photo, like you geolocate.
Oh, so scary, terrifying, right? And I imagine it's only getting harder now because that was in 2009 and this is 2023. I mean, think about what could have happened in like the past
14 years.
Yes, 14 years. But if you had to, right? Do you think it would be safer to go to a densely populated city? Like, would you rather go to New York City, Hong Kong, Macau, Beijing, like all these cities where there's so many people that you can get lost in the crowd, that you can blend in? Or do you go somewhere where very few travel? Like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Less eyeballs, like somewhere wooded, somewhere quiet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. So Ho Chi Minh City actually has more people than New York City. Did you know that?
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The city surrounds the Saigon River. It's in Vietnam, which I heard it's really beautiful at night because the city lights reflect off
it makes
the
sense
river.
to be in the middle of
and it's
nowhere, but
beautiful. It's a city
like
that
being in
also
a
feels like
needle, being
it never
a
sleeps.
needle in a haystack is
Everybody
also
there.
a
Nightlife
good idea.
is really crazy. Like just rooftop bars, nightclubs, casinos, like no sleep, next club, back to back. And it just feels like a big Vegas, but better. Like you can blend in, you can feel like you can let loose and no one will know. No one will even remember by the time that the sun comes up. Even in February, it feels like summertime in Vietnam. So thousands of people, they're traveling from all over the world to Vietnam to hide away from like the winter months of the other countries. And it's nice in the sense that everyone truly feels like they go about their business. They don't really pay too much attention to what everybody else in the city is doing. I imagine that finding your friend in a city like this would require back and forth communication. Like you would need to have a meetup spot. You would need to coordinate a time. But imagine you have to find someone in the city that doesn't want to be found. Someone that's hiding. There were 2 young men hiding in Vietnam. They're trying their best to blend in and be invisible. You have 26-year-old Poli Fan and 25-year-old Jaden Wen. The 2 took very different approaches. They landed in Vietnam on different planes, on different days, and Poli, he tried his best to blend in with the crowd in Ho Chi Minh City. He's trying to stay under the radar. He's trying to appear normal from the outside. Like if you were to bump into him on the street, you're like, oh, this is just another random resident. He would actually go to the gym. Sometimes he would even go out on the weekends. He would join the nightlife. And every time he would go back to his place of residence, he would look left, he would look right, he would look over his shoulder to make sure that he wasn't being followed, and then he would put his key in the door. Jaden had a completely different approach. He went to like the suburbs, the place where very few go. Not even just like regular suburbs, I'm talking like countryside. He met a young woman, pretended to fall in love, offered her a visa into his home country, the United States. And her parents willingly took him in with open arms. And for a while it worked. Nobody suspected that these 2 young men were wanted by Interpol. Nobody knew that. Because just a few days ago, before they landed in Vietnam, they had allegedly, brutally murdered 2 men in cold blood. Let me take you to the day of the murder. January 26th, 2023. Let's talk about John, okay? John is his fake name. He's anonymous, but he is a neighbor. He's been trying to fall asleep for the past, I don't know, like 3 hours. He's tossing and turning. He's trying to put his cushion over his head.
Yeah.
And his damn dog
because
just was going
it's
at
hard
it,
as a
like
cat. Oh,
barking
check that.
nonstop. Just would not give it up. John is like, what do I need to do? Do I need to show you every room in the house to tell you we don't have a home intruder? Nothing is going on. His dog is practically pacing around his house non-stop as if someone had lit a fire under its butt. Side note, John doesn't really seem that nervous that there was something going on or that there was someone outside lurking in the woods trying to get into his house. He lived in a gated private community in Houston, Texas, with only about like 10 other houses. It's really safe. The houses were also pretty close to one another. So it's not townhomes. They're not stuck together. They're not sharing walls, but they've got tiny little slivers of side yards. So it's really hard for someone to have a home invasion and the neighbors don't notice. Everyone sees everything. So this is pretty much as safe as you can get in a single family home. There's a lot of ring cameras nearby, a lot of nosy residents, a lot of close proximity. It would be very difficult for someone to even rob one of these 10 houses. So he lifts up his head and he's like, okay, what in the world is going on?
If my
like,
dog is going crazy like that, I definitely gotta look outside.
And he knocks out. He gets up a few hours later to start the day. And he looks out his window as he always does as he drinks his cup of coffee, and everything is normal. Neighbors are walking their dogs as normal. He could see across the street into his neighbor's house, James. James is his neighbor, and James's white Prius is in the garage. I mean, everything seems like that morning bustle before everyone's heading to work. John picks up his dog to bring him to the front lawn, and he glances back up at James's house. And it's strange, because his white Prius is sitting in his garage. His garage door is open. It's lifted.
Like he forgot to close it.
Yes, but now that he's outside, he can actually hear the Prius is running. The engine is on. And it's parked, and it doesn't look like anyone was inside of the car. But again, would you really consider this some sort of like bombshell neighborly gossip even? It's January in Houston. I mean, it's not freezing, but it's pretty cold. If you're running into your house to grab your phone or run back out to leave after you grab something, you would probably keep your car on so that you don't get cold on the way out. So John goes back into his home and he goes through the motions of his morning routine. He heads back outside once more to hop into his car and leave when he's like, oh my God. James's Prius is still parked in the garage, the garage is still open, and the car is still on. And there's no sign of James anywhere. And again, he doesn't think anything terrible happened. He's just thinking, maybe he doesn't know. I gotta let him know, like, hey, bud, you left your car open, right? You left your car on. He called James's phone. No response. He starts feeling a little curious, a little anxious. So he makes his way over to his neighbor's garage.
I'm happy you're actually using a reference for the
engine
first
is on,
time.
But not only that, this is where he starts feeling kind of like a unsettling feeling. The windshield wipers are going.
Was it raining last night?
Maybe. It's really weird. Why are the windshield wipers still going? Like, even if you're running in to grab something, you would probably turn it off. Windshield wipers, even when it's drizzling, I like to turn it off and then I'm like, okay, I need it again.
Defrosting?
It's just like, it's squeaking like back and forth, almost in like a creepy haunted manner. The car is empty, the garage is empty, the house feels eerily quiet. You're just like, James? No response. John walks around, goes to the front door, because it's pretty rude to like open the garage door and be like, hello, are you in here?
The house.
And he starts knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, no response. And now John's thinking, either I move on with my day and I go to work, or I do something a little bit crazy. And you know what? It's crazy, but I think it's okay. He goes around the bushes and starts trying to peek in through the front window of the house. If James catches him, I'm sure that there would be this awkward moment of explanation, but something in his gut is like, I gotta do it. I just don't feel good about this. I don't think that I can go about the rest of my day and not keep thinking back on this morning. John tries his best to balance and get as close to the window as he can, and his stomach drops. I mean, the heavy gut feeling that he had was confirmed. The house was totally ransacked. Just things were thrown about everywhere, and there were some splatters on various surfaces that were very dark, and yes, it looked like blood. Like, it didn't look like someone was spilling water. It didn't look like a water balloon burst. It was blood. John runs back to his house. He calls 911, and within minutes, at around 8:30 a.m., officers arrive at the house for a welfare check. I think officers were expecting to walk into a potential home invasion or some sort of burglary. Maybe a domestic issue, but I don't think that they were prepared to come across a scene that looked like it was out of a scene of Breaking Bad. They walk into the house. Furniture turned over, thrown everywhere, doors, cabinets, all swung open, blood splattered on the walls, floors, bullet fragments throughout the house.
Oh, dang.
And in the middle of the chaos, there was a man laying in a large pool of blood. He had been clearly shot multiple times. To get a better idea of who this was and how they were killed, authorities searched the rest of the house and found several packages of marijuana packed in airtight wrappings. 129
Don't do drugs, guys.
pounds of marijuana.
Don't do drugs, guys.
129 pounds? That's like a human.
That's like, yeah. So in Texas, marijuana is not legal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that would be, that would probably possession with intent to distribute.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So they also found 10 pounds of hash oil. So think of like a dog, like the weight of a dog in hash oil.
What is a hash oil?
It's like a CBD oil that is like more potent than marijuana.
Okay.
And when they opened up the freezer,
I'll do whatever I want. I mean,
they found $36,000
Sure,
in cash staring back at them.
But nobody took this?
No. I mean, the marijuana itself is worth a lot of money, but then $39,000 just in cash?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know why
you say
it
all the
wasn't taken.
who would look in the
Well.
free?
Yeah, so it seems like someone was trying to find money or find drugs or find something. But what happened? Like, how did they not take any of this, and why is there someone dead?
Yeah.
Because this just doesn't make sense. Like, what the hell happened here? Was this a drug-related murder? If so, why did they not take anything? Why didn't they take the marijuana? Why didn't they take the frozen cash? Authorities, they quickly pieced together that the dead man in the living room was not James. He was not the homeowner.
What?
So who is he? How is he connected to all of this? The man in the house was 35-year-old Dana Risdale. He was actually from Oregon, but James was a very close friend of his that he was visiting in Houston.
Okay.
So James had actually lived in Oregon prior to all of this, and this is kind of pertinent because both of them were in the marijuana business, and it's completely legal in Oregon. So they were
Cash
legal
also good.
distributors
Alright,
of
0
marijuana,
now, bro.
and then
0
James
now.
decided to kind of take a step back from this business. He stopped working with all of his companies in Oregon. He moved to Houston to focus on being a father, and his best friend Dana was visiting him. Now, it does seem like maybe he hadn't cut all of the ties because, like I said, there were 129 pounds of marijuana in his home. And I don't want to see people victim blaming because it doesn't really matter if you have possession of drugs. If you're murdered, like, that means nothing. Like, you can't be like, oh, well, they had drugs. It's a very weird way of thinking. So it seems like they hadn't fully cut the ties. Now, the problem is marijuana is illegal in Texas. Dana seemed to be visiting his close friend in Houston, and people said that the two were just like as thick as thieves. They had very similar energies. They had these larger-than-life personalities. They were also the type of friends that very much valued loyalty.
What does it mean, as thick as thieves? Is
It's
that a saying?
It's a saying, yeah, where they're just the type, like, when you're friends with them, you know they have your back. And they're just really best buds. They would never betray each other. There's no way that anyone could come between them. Like,
Okay.
thick as thieves, you know? And it sounds cheesy, and in today's case, loyalty might not seem like such a positive thing anymore. You're gonna see why. But these two, they were very loyal, and they were very honest with one another. Like, you know those friends that will stick by you no matter what? But if you do something, they'll be like, hey, that was dumb. Why did you do that? That was kind of their friendship. So why was James's close friend Dana, who was presumably there to meet and visit James, why was he found dead in his house? And where was James? Police had a few leads to follow, one being Dana's car. Neighbors reported seeing a Dodge Ram with Oregon license plates, it's like a pickup truck, parked in front of James's house. And now it's missing. Clearly, Dana wasn't the one to drive it off the property, so who did? It seems like whoever the killer was stole Dana's car afterwards as like a getaway vehicle of sorts. So this car could potentially provide them for the answers that they're looking for. They issue out a be on the lookout, a BOLO, for the 2002 white Dodge Ram. Additionally, authorities reported James missing. They tow the Toyota Prius. So the Toyota Prius is James's car. It's in the garage. They tow it to their impound lot. This is like police evidence lot. This is not just like a random tow truck lot. This is police evidence. This is where they're going to take your car if they confiscate it. And they go back to following the rest of the leads. Dana's pickup truck was found 2 days later, abandoned. Just the truck was completely empty. James was nowhere in sight. They towed Dana's truck to the police station to be processed
That means they
for
buddy.
possible evidence as well. And other officers that are working on this case, they used Find My iPhone to track down James's phone.
Ooh.
It was just left at the White Oak Bayou. So it looked like either someone discarded it to get rid of evidence, or maybe James himself could have thrown it out the window or thrown it away himself to avoid being tracked and throw officers off his trail. So now, authorities have Dana's body, Dana's car, James's phone, but where is James? Now, this is the part that I cannot wrap my head around. This is truly bizarre. 5 days later, investigators find James's body in the Toyota Prius.
Oh.
What?
In the trunk of the Toyota Prius that they have that they had confiscated and impounded to the police lot 5 days ago. I don't know
You're
why.
kidding
And
me.
it's not like he was hidden somehow
Why didn't they
in this
check
very
it?
intricate manner in the Toyota Prius. He was in the trunk of the Prius.
Wow.
There's even a very eerie picture of a police officer with crime scene tape all over James's home, and you see the Toyota Prius still parked in the garage, and the officer is kind of like looking at it. At that moment, James's body was in the trunk.
What?
Yeah.
I just. What?
So I guess they just started processing the Prius for evidence and popped open the trunk. So that's on February 1st of 2023. They found James Martin's body. I mean, it's just so confusing to me. Nobody knew why. Nobody knew why they didn't search the car earlier, because it seemed like they had multiple officers working this case, clearly. I saw some arguments that said that they weren't able to get a warrant until 5 days later.
But they took the
I
car.
highly doubt that.
They
Like,
took
you're
the
talking
car.
about a very gruesome murder. I think the judge would have prioritized the warrant to a degree. And they had so much probable cause to get a search warrant, like stat, ASAP.
Wait, there's a murder and you need a warrant to search the crime scene?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
And okay, please, someone who's more familiar with the legalities of this. But if they're already searching the home,
yeah, and
the
they
car-
impounded a car. They took the
Yeah,
car.
they took the car. So
yes, if you
open
have
it.
the authority to move private property like a car from one location to another, I feel like you could search the car.
That is wild, though.
I mean, also, if
Imagine you
already
get arrested for something, right? And then they impound your car for some reason, and your car is full of like contraband and stuff. If they check that car, can I go to court and be like, well, they didn't have a warrant to check the car, so technically all these things are thrown out? What? No. I done took your car, so I have the right to take it. So I have the right to look inside. They might not. Oh, so I need an extra warrant to open the trunk. First of all, if that's the case, if they need a warrant to open the trunk, they shouldn't even have a warrant to look inside my car. So let's say you get pulled over, right? If you look inside of my car without a warrant, if you look inside of my car without a warrant, guess what? I'm taking you to court, buddy. Yeah, but they took the car though, Morgan. The car was on. So that means they had to get in the car and turn it off. Right? Because the car was running. I mean, unless the battery just died. But by that time. But like, he said 1 minute. So because he went back and the car was still running. No. So the car was running by the time they got there. They had to get inside the car to turn it off. So I think they already broke bounds.
Search the car. You're already in the car.
just pop
They're
the
already
trunk.
driving the car or take. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just don't
Yeah.
understand.
Wow.
Okay, another thing is, if they're already searching the home and the car is technically on property, would
Yeah.
it not be a part of the search warrant? And I also believe it is.
They need a warrant to search your vehicle. I know, Morgan. I know. I was kidding.
much easier for police to search your car versus your home. Like, the amount of probable cause that they would need to search a car is like here. Maybe they went in the car and they're like, oh, it seems totally normal. There's no blood, there's nothing, so we should be fine.
Wow.
It's just a very strange detail to this case. I hope it's explained later during the trial, because I personally don't understand it. If you have more insight, please let me know in the comments. I tried looking more into it, but I'm like, none of this makes sense. Everyone seems confused. So back to the case. James was found beaten, tied up, and dead in the trunk of his car.
Dang.
His feet, ankles, and hands were bound with duct tape. There was also duct tape wrapped around his head and face. It was also clear that he too died from multiple gunshot wounds, just like his friend
Dang.
Dana. So police now they have a double homicide on their hands, and honestly, it's a very weird situation. They have a little bit to go off of, but it's not a lot. The sheer amount of marijuana found in the house, along with the money in the freezer, it gives them potential insight on the type of crime that it could be, on the type of people that might be involved, but it doesn't really answer who exactly is still involved.
Oh, how's it going, man?
They had no eyewitnesses to go off of. None of the other neighbors saw anything. Yeah, sure, John was like, my dog was barking up a storm that night, but he didn't see anything. He didn't hear anything. All James's neighbor said was, we saw that pickup truck, the Dodge Ram, Dana's car, and then it was gone. That's it. We didn't see any people go in and out of the house. We didn't see someone drive off in that car. We don't know. So the police, they went to their favorite eyewitness, security cameras. They canvassed the area to see if anyone had ring cameras, home security cameras, businesses with security systems, and eventually they found videos from different cameras, different angles, and they were able to piece together somewhat of a timeline. Eventually, these little videos, like little breadcrumbs, like, you know, the tape on the forest, like when you leave little breadcrumbs, it's like that. It would lead them straight to the suspect's door. And I think, you know, with a case like this, I'm sure the police don't have a suspect image in their minds, or at least they shouldn't if they're good at their jobs. Like, you shouldn't have a preconceived notion of who the suspect is, right? But with everything they were presented with thus far, the evidence, the breadcrumbs, the clues, I imagine that they had a vague idea of the type of person that they were looking for. You're like, okay, maybe you could see them and be like, I could see how these two are connected. Maybe the suspect has some drug charges in the past, or maybe this person has some sort of criminal history, maybe some dealing charges. I could see that, right? But they ended up at the door of a Sanrio-loving, pastel-obsessed TikToker slash influencer, Kathy Vu. And they're like, what the hell is going on right now? For example, Kathy posted a TikTok where she gave dating advice. And she said, it's okay to be independent, but don't make it the main reason why someone should date you. She talks about how before she met her current boyfriend, she used to feel like she had to prove to all these boys that she was independent and that she made her own money. And she felt like it was a good thing to show men that she didn't need them. But instead, she said she realized she was only attracting bums.
I went to reference, and all I'm seeing is some cars. Why did you want me to see this? What do you want me to, what? Don't take cars, they put it in tow company, take a vehicle, private, and complex. You tow the cars, left and biggest cops have more than enough claim. Yeah. Especially if there's a dead body inside the house and they're looking for the man who did it, shouldn't they check in the car?
That's what she said, bums. With that kind of attitude. Basically saying, as a woman, you should be taken care of. This is paraphrasing, but she said she never really received flowers from anyone before she started dating her boyfriend because she just wanted to show men how chill and indifferent and laid back she was. She wanted to make herself digestible. And she advises young girls that they should take up space, that they should be as irritating as you want to be. Like, don't change your personality for men. Like, don't.
What did she just say? Can I rewind that to hear what she said?
An indifferent. This is paraphrasing, but she said she never really received flowers from anyone before she started dating her boyfriend because she just wanted to show men how chill and indifferent and laid back she was. She wanted to make herself digestible. And she advises young girls that they should take up space, that they should be as irritating as you want to be. Like, don't change your personality for men. Like, don't do these things for men. She said that now she doesn't want to go through relationships dumbing herself down to make herself convenient for others, mainly men.
The only men that you attract by proving that you don't need much are bums. They foam at the mouth when they find out that you don't need much from them to be happy. The only person I was hurting by not not requiring much from my partner is
All right,
myself.
listen. This is crazy. This is a crazy thing to say. But like, should we be listening to advice from somebody who chose a guy who killed somebody? Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out in the air.
As men love women that are really independent because most of the time this hyper independence comes from some type of trauma.
Now, we don't know too much about Kathy Vu's relationship other than what she puts out there, which is, it's pretty clear that she's very selective in what information she puts online about her boyfriend. There are parts of their relationship that now, in hindsight, people have been picking apart. Yes, there are, okay? So, Kathy stated that her boyfriend was shy, and that's why she never really showed his face on camera. I don't even think people knew his name. Her boyfriend's name is Polly Fan.
You're right. Those are. Listen, I'm just saying.
Believe that she never shared his
I'm just saying.
face because he was heavily involved in illegal activities.
And she knew about it.
But it does seem like he showered her with monetary gifts.
You see, she listen.
Her on trips.
You see, she wanted to be spoiled. She got spoiled, and then she found out. That money was probably not good money.
Buy her designer stuff. But Kathy still prided herself in having this very successful career. So yeah, from the outside, they seem like a very perfect couple. Well, now, video evidence showed two men, presumed to be Polly and Polly's good friend Jaden, arriving at Kathy Vu's apartment complex.
When did they arrive at Kathy's?
The day before the murder, like the night of the murder.
Because they're traumatized. I mean, she didn't say that exactly.
First, before
Yes.
Okay.
The police are trying to reverse track the movements. All they know is that Dana is dead and James was found dead in his white Prius that was parked in his garage. So they're trying to see, when did the Prius pull up to the garage? Where was the Prius coming from? Who was driving the Prius? So they get all these little CCTV clips, and the last time that James was seen alive was entering Kathy Vu's apartment, or at least the apartment building. But on the CCTV cameras, they don't see Kathy Vu. They see Kathy Vu's boyfriend and their friend Jaden Wen. So you've got Polly and Jaden meeting up with James at Kathy Vu's apartment building.
So we never saw James driving home.
No. They actually see other people driving home.
So the white Prius was driven by someone else.
Yeah. So the white
Okay.
Prius is driven by James into Kathy Vu's apartment building. So James is alive at this point, and he's driving his car.
That's crazy.
And
He
he's
brought her
meeting up
to
with
his
Polly
girl's
and
house?
Jaden.
Yes.
That's what it seems like, right? Because what they're kind of guiding him into the garage, motioning him to park in the garage. Now, this is where I have questions. All reports indicate that this was a regular schmegular apartment building garage, meaning like a parking lot. Maybe
Have
there's a
marriage
gate.
advice?
Maybe you need like a beeper to get in, or some sort of like tag
Don't
to
get
get
married.
into the garage.
No,
But
Morgan.
it's pretty public. Like the rest of the
Come on
residents
now,
can use it. Maybe
Morgan.
guests of the residents can use it.
You can say.
I don't know how
uh,
all of the next series of events plays out.
I mean, I guess you
if
can say
this
that if
is
you want
just
to.
a regular schmegular parking
But
lot.
I'd just say,
Because
truly
soon someone's
try to
gonna
vet the
transport
person
James's
that
body
you're
into
marrying
the trunk of his car.
Yeah.
a lot.
How was
Don't
that
just
done,
jump in.
right?
We don't know yet.
Don't
and
just
I'm
get
sure
caught
maybe
up
they're
by all the
saving that for
emotions.
the trial. Some people have speculated online that there are certain apartment complexes that have private garages for residents to lease. So it's like a home garage. It's weird. It's like a home garage. It's closed off. It doubles as like a storage unit. But I couldn't tell if
Oh,
Kathy Vu's
and like
apartment
iCarly had
offered
that.
type of service or even had
I mean, it
that.
wasn't like a garage though.
So all we know is that James is seen driving up in his Toyota Prius. He meets up with Polly Fan, Kathy Vu's boyfriend, and their friend Jaden Wen. This is the last time that James is seen alive. The last time he's seen is walking into the apartment with the two men. There is no movement, and then nothing happens. There is no movement, no significant happenings on camera, and half an hour later, you can see the garage doors to the apartment complex open, and the CCTV cameras show two men backing out of the garage in James's Prius. James is nowhere to be seen. And the police track the Prius all the way back to James's home. So it seems like the theory is James was murdered inside this apartment. He was put into the trunk of his car, and then his car was driven back to his house. The two men are suspected of being inside James's house, and within that hour, Dana arrives in his Dodge
Oh yeah, she said
Ram.
bum man.
And a little while after that, Dana's Dodge is seen driving away from the house. And once again, there's 2 men in that Dodge. So from the footage, it's easy for authorities to piece together a theory of what they believe took place. And again, this is just a theory. No one has been convicted. Authorities believe that James was lured to the apartment complex where Kathy Vu lives by Kathy's boyfriend and their friend Jaden. He met up with the 2 men. There are some rumors that Kathy helped lure James to the apartment, but I don't see any proof of that. James was most likely ambushed, tied up, and murdered in the apartment. Authorities felt that it was clearly premeditated. And just going by the officer's theory moving forward, they believe that the suspects, Polly, Jaden, right? They placed James in the trunk of his own car. They drive to James's own house, where they parked the car in the garage, kept the car running for whatever reason. I'm not sure entirely why. Maybe they were in a rush. Maybe it was just the chaos of the situation. But it is a strange detail.
Yeah, I feel like they forgot.
Authorities
probably
believe now they went inside to ransack the place, looking for drugs, money, and or both.
Or
But
they did
while they're
that.
in that process, Dana comes home, sees what they're doing, and officers theorize that Dana was killed to avoid any eyewitnesses to this crime. And since they had just
Or they did that
escalated from a
for
homicide
a,
to a double homicide, and the idea that perhaps
for it to
the
look
murder
like-
of James was premeditated to agree, they might have felt like now this is getting out of control. Like we had planned to kill James, we had planned to do this, but now this is like a shit show. This is a mess. Maybe there was even a struggle that broke out. This is the theory, right? Authorities believe it was a spur-of-the-moment decision to kill Dana. Maybe they were so shaken up that they fled right away without taking any of the drugs or money. Or maybe they believe that the gunshots could be heard by the neighbors. They drive away in Dana's car because they can't take James's car. James is in the trunk of that car. They drive away in Dana's car, abandon it on the side of the road, and then they run on foot, is the theory, is the allegation. I mean, the movement kind of makes sense. If this theory does come to be true, it's
from
generally
adrenaline?
terrifying
Yeah.
that 2 people's lives were taken so abruptly and brutally for some drugs and money. Like, I get it, it's a
Yep.
lot of drugs. I get
That's
it,
what
it's a
people
lot
do.
of money. But, like, where's the humanity?
That's why I gotta get out of,
These are people.
get away from the drugs, get
Now,
away
I
from
know
the money.
a big argument of this case is going to be, why were there drugs in James's house in the first place? And like I said, James and Dana were said to be commercial marijuana farmers from Southern Oregon, where it is very much legal and they were licensed. But more recently, James had moved back to Houston just to be closer with his family, and it seemed clear that both of these men wanted to distance themselves from this line of work. They were kind of pulling away from the industry. James, he wanted to focus on being a good dad for his son.
Oh dang,
Meanwhile,
he got kids
Dana, he started kind of hanging out more in Portland. He wasn't a father yet, but he had a nephew and niece in Colorado and in Washington. He would take time out of his busy schedule, travel across state lines, just to spend like a day or 2 with his niece and nephew. It's like people said he came alive whenever he saw his family. You could just see how proud he was to be a part of their lives and just to
This is
watch
why you
them
guys gotta
grow,
stay away from
which
him,
is a
bro.
pretty big sacrifice for Dana.
Because it's
Dana
like,
was-
this man literally just tried to step away and spend more time with his family. And he was taken out because of it. Just because he was involved before. Man, sad.
Dana was big with work. It really was his passion before he started kind of pulling away. So in 2016, he started a cannabis distribution company called LTMRN. It was pretty successful. A lot of people said that Dana just had this crazy networking ability. Like if you had an aerial view of a networking event, people would all kind of like ebb and flow around, but there was always a circle just gravitating towards Dana. People really liked him. He was hilarious. He was a good-natured man, and people could see that within just like 5 minutes of meeting with him. It was so easy to talk to him. He had all this life experience and a lot of stories that he would share with people, and it was just so fun. He would be out one day partying in Vegas, and then the next day he's hiking through Yosemite. I mean, this was a man that loved to
Yosemite.
experience life and just go on these new adventures and just really challenge himself to see what else is out there. It was something that he had in common with James. A friend of James said, you could see this man in a meeting with Fortune 500 CEOs. He would fit right in, he would be comfortable in his own skin, and then that night he would fit right in at like a crazy rock concert.
That's what I thought. She
Because
had
he
to get
loved
charged with
rapping.
accessory.
He self-produced a fun
She
rap
has to
song
be.
called Hustle Hustle Ball. And like some of his friends kind of poked fun at him because he's shirtless and he's got sunglasses and a backward cap on in the video, and he's like rapping. It's posted on YouTube, and they thought it was very, very silly.
Hold up, Titan. This is where we get issues. Okay, so like, you see how she's laughing and she said it's funny?
like some of his friends kind of poked fun at him because he's shirtless and he's got some.
Ain't he doing what them girls were doing? Them Asian girls, them K-pop girls. Come on now, come on. We can't be like that, man. Come on now, man. Come on now, son. Listen, I'm against saying that they were being racist, but like, come on now, son. He got the cars open. Look at how he's moving his arms and all.
Sunglasses and a backward cap on in the video. And
What? I don't watch. Remember the video that I showed you and you said it was cringe?
he's like rapping. It's posted on YouTube, and they thought it was very, very silly.
She was like, who that? Who that?
It's also just what made him so lovable. He was very free-spirited. He didn't care. He never took himself or anything that seriously. He just did what he liked. He just did what made him happy. He also founded a Portland-based edibles company in 2016. And in the end, by 2023, both of these men were starting to pull away from the cannabis industry in Oregon.
You see?
James,
They're trying to put Zara. This is why I'm trying to get away from all this stuff, man. They tried to pull away. They're like, hey, I'm done, man. I'm trying to spend time with my family. But some people, obviously, I'm not saying you out here distributing. Hopefully not, but you know what I'm saying? You have no recollection? Yeah, I don't even know why I asked. I don't even know what I asked, bro.
Wanted to do it for his family. Dana, he wanted to try experimenting with different businesses. But I don't think that, it's something that you can just wake up and wash your hands of.
Mm-hmm.
Just be done with the industry. Maybe they had a lot of inventory left over. Maybe it was, something else. It was a business that they had built for years. So most likely, it seems that a few ties had remained. Now the problem is marijuana is not yet legal in Texas. So police, they execute a search warrant on Kathy Vu's apartment. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same apartment that she did the whole series of moving into my new apartment on. Like the one that kickstarted her career on TikTok. And everything had been so wholesome online, and it is now believed that this very apartment is allegedly where a murder took place. So it's kind of jarring.
Oh, I thought you were going to say full of drugs too.
I do want to clarify that Kathy was never seen on CCTV cameras luring James into the garage. And that's not to say that she's not involved in some way, shape, or form, but authorities clearly believe that she was.
Do we know if she was home inside or no?
It doesn't seem like it from what I can gather, but we haven't received like a firm statement, at least that myself and my researchers haven't been able to find, where it was like she was not home. Okay. It's kind of like all these different things lead us to believe that she wasn't home at the time.
Okay. And I'm sure if she was home, it would be shown on CCTV that at one point she arrived home earlier of the day.
Yeah.
That will put her at the crime scene, which will change her charges.
Yes.
For this case, right?
Yeah, she'd probably be an accomplice to capital murder.
Right. So, okay.
Yeah. So authorities clearly believe that she was involved in some way, shape, or form. They found an HEB store receipt. So this is like your Ralph's or your Kroger. They found a receipt that showed that Kathy purchased items the day of the murder. And,
Morgan?
the items were...
Morgan.
They were suspicious. She bought bleach, peroxide, trash bags. On top of that, police found bleach and iodine bottles in the back of Kathy's car.
Bleach and what?
Iodine.
What's
it's
iodine?
Like salt, basically. It's like a cleaner. You can use it as cleaning. Found in the back of Kathy's car. And, to buy that on the day of the murder is it's kind of suspicious when someone is seen coming into your apartment and then never seen coming out, and then you buy cleaning supplies before the murder took place.
Oh, this was before.
Not after, not during, but it was before James was last seen alive.
Sounds like...
but to be fair, I mean, you could argue that maybe she was just a clean freak. I mean, there was a TikTok that she posted that stated that she loved cleaning. She was insinuating that she was kind of a bit of a clean freak. I will play it for the visual watchers, but for the audio listeners, she's kind of doing a day in my life as a corporate marketing girl in the alcohol industry. She walks us through her day of getting ready for this promotional event at a club. She's got to go to Michael's, get some gift bags, set up a backdrop, photo booth. It shows her being incredibly hardworking, but the part that has definitely been picked apart, like to hell and back, is at the club. During her day in my life TikTok, there is a moment where she talks about how this particular club has a wet rag scent. because a lot of the workers use wet rags to clean the countertops. And she talks about how she even brought her own cleaning supplies and is literally seen in the TikTok cleaning the counters while people around her are partying.
Okay, so Heart, the club that we were at, sometimes has this like musty smell because of the wet rags they use. They're not entirely clean, so there's always this really bad lingering smell. My friends thought it would be funny to record me cleaning. I actually didn't know they were recording at first, but I did bring my cleaner bottle from home.
Hey, once again, all the friends look. Some the friends look like. Hey, you remember birds of a feather flock together? I'm just saying, brother. I understand though, Morgan, but what are the odds that today of all days, the day when this occurs, that's the day when she's like, ah, looks like I need more cleaning supplies. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And let's say she did just buy it for that, right? So just not speaking English. Let's just say she did buy it for that, right? What if, like, what if she come home and be like, why the heck is my bleach like dang near done? I just bought it. What did you do? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. She had to have known something. That's all I'm saying.
My friends thought it would be funny to record me cleaning. I actually didn't know they were recording at first, but I did bring my cleaner bottle from home to wipe down my section.
So people picked it apart because she was cleaning?
Some people stated that she posted this because she wanted to kind of have something to fall back on. Like, you know, when you're in that state of like, I'm about to, this is purely speculation from netizens, not even police.
Oh,
okay?
she's trying to clear it out,
Some
like create like
netizens
a.
were saying
I
maybe
see.
she posted it because she knows she's about to buy cleaning products
You
for
see?
a murder, and now
Big
she's
brain.
like slipping that in there to be like, look, I actually love cleaning. I'm just a clean freak, and that has nothing to do with anything. It's not out of the
That
norm
would be
for me.
so
Some people were
crazy
saying
if
it's
she
just
did.
a coincidence. So this TikTok would be dragged to the depths of hell and back and analyzed till it could no longer be analyzed. And some people argue that she truly maybe was just a clean freak. And while most of us probably don't buy bleach, iodine, peroxide, trash bags all at once, and coincidentally on the day of the
Yeah,
murder,
they
that
all
allegedly
were
took place,
empty,
the girl
Morgan.
home,
All of them
but
were
maybe
done.
she's a clean freak. Like, we won't know
Interesting.
until there is a trial. Authorities stated that they found a note on her phone, which was a list of items to purchase, including but not limited to bleach, towels, and iodine.
Is iodine a very common cleaning supply, or
I don't think so. Because I feel like I would kind of consider myself a bit of a clean freak.
And never bought
I don't
iodine like
even
that.
use bleach. When's the last
Yeah,
time
I
you
don't
saw
use bleach.
in our house?
I don't use bleach. I use
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, you know, you can use a little bit.
I use like
I mean, not saying that
like
everyone with bleach
vinegar
in their house. I
and-
know that there's a lot of uses for
yeah,
bleach.
yeah,
but
of course. But I don't like using
guess
bleach,
it's
especially
just a-
because it's like really toxic. But I use like depending on certain things, I use like vinegar and I use like other like natural ways of cleaning.
Very hard substance I try to stray away from. As like just a cleaning my apartment type of girly. They also
Type of
believe that this
girly.
indicates that Kathy had prior knowledge of what was about to happen, and she was planning to help assist and have somewhat of an active role in the crime. They also ran her phone records, and they found that Kathy was messaging her boyfriend Polly during and after
His
the
name is
suspected
Polly?
time of the murders. Authorities think that she was coordinating
I
using
forgot.
her garage and apartment, and then coordinating the cleanup.
Yeah,
So
so
just
she
to
bought the
clarify,
stuff there
it
and then
seems
she
like
said,
officers
"I'm not
believe
going
that
to be
she
here."
was helping coordinate and clean up the crime scene.
so we don't know what she said.
No.
This is from police. Police saying we feel like this is what was going on.
Yeah, I'm sure police know kind of what was said. Maybe the text messages, maybe not the phone calls, right? Like there were multiple FaceTime calls. There were some speculations that she was calling to verify over and over again that her boyfriend had closed the garage when they left her apartment. That's kind of what we know as of right now. After Polly and Jaden left her apartment in James's car, she FaceTimed him 6 times in the span of 25 minutes. They also texted each other to verify that the garage door had been closed.
So she at least know that they
Are
left.
there.
They're there and they left.
But you could argue that she didn't know that James was there.
Right.
You could argue that she only thought that her boyfriend was there and was like, hey, babe, did you close the garage door? Because I'm not home.
Multiple times or?
It says that she called him 6 times. Or she was FaceTiming with him 6 times in the span of 25 minutes. So I think more than the cleaning supplies, the text messages and the phone calls are probably a worse look, in my opinion. It just, the cleaning supplies, you could try and twist it and argue and be like, she works in a corporate sphere. Maybe she bought it for this or that. But the text messages are interesting. Now, I have seen some online discourse, and right now it's all speculations and rumors, this whole case is, but some people have posted online that Kathy was a very sweet, trusting, almost naive to a fault person that probably was too scared to say no to her boyfriend.
You see, this, yo, I really, listen, sure. But after she made that video talking about only bum guys, like this because of their trauma. And okay, right? But you cannot be out here talking like, well, I know how to choose him. Don't choose him the way you choose him. And then she chooses a man who does this, and now people are like, she was probably scared to say no to him. What the freak is going on? What? Okay. So it's either she knows how to pick him, or she don't know how to pick him, right? But you can't say she know how to pick him, but this one right here, she picked him, but she was scared of him. What the freak? All right, let's complete.
Friend, which I'm not sure how to feel about that because she's 23, I believe. So when you're 23, maybe there's some things. I'm a people pleaser. I have such a hard time saying no to people. Trust me, I understand that feeling. I relate to it like on a spiritual, deep level. But if you ask me to clean up a crime scene, that's a solid no. So I don't know where that argument comes in. Some people say that she didn't really.
Right, like I said, it's either you're super smart or you dumb as a box of rocks. I'm so serious, bro. It's either you are the smartest person, we should all listen to you, or you're dumb as a box of rocks. Because there's no in between. There's no make stupid decisions. No, I can't make dumb decisions. Somebody made me make it. What the frick you mean somebody made you make it? I don't get it. Because like I said, I understand. I completely understand. Right? People can get manipulated. I understand that too. I understand. However, ain't no way. She's out here making videos like, you guys don't know how to choose him, but I do. I'm not going to let him be like anything to me. I'm going to be who I want. And then now they're like, oh, well, he killed somebody and she cleaned it up. Oh, but she just didn't know how to say no to him. Man, shut that stuff up, man. She didn't know how to say no to him. She said yes to him. She didn't even ask no questions. He came home. He used up all the bleach. And it smelled like extra bleach in the house. And she was like, you cleaned up? He was like, yeah. You never did that before. Why today? I just wanted to surprise you. You just want to surprise me? Huh. Alright. I guess. Why did you even ask me to buy that stuff? Oh, just because I went, oh. Okay. Ma'am, you're under arrest. You're under arrest for what? For accessory to murder? What? Accessory? What? Oh, okay. What the freak?
Know what she was getting into and maybe thought that because her boyfriend was potentially allegedly involved in some harsh illegal activities, she was scared for her own life. She got roped into it because she was terrified. And then I see
hold on.
People are saying,
I have to ask this question. Did she know that he was involved with all this drug and stuff activity beforehand? Because like she said, apparently she lives in Texas and marijuana is illegal in Texas. So did she know her boyfriend was involved with marijuana? If that's the case, before she got with him, hey. And if she didn't, then what the freak?
No, she's 23. She was actually benefiting from her boyfriend's alleged illegal work.
Of course she was.
She was
He just bought me a laptop,
she wasn't
guys.
afraid to spend his money going on trips, getting all these gifts. She was benefiting in some way, and now she's cleaning up a crime scene. You can't really say that she was so scared and terrified.
Thank you.
So it's just kind of an argument.
Wow.
I do think that
Oh,
it
no, I
does
don't know if
rub
she's
a
on
lot
that
of people
side.
the wrong way, that she was kind of preaching online about having a good relationship and having boyfriends that respect and cherish you. Meanwhile, she is accused of doing something absolutely heinous
and now they're
for
like,
her boyfriend.
I
also see a third group of people, a very small, tiny group of people that believe if the series of events are true, they like Kathy even more now.
Of course they did.
What?
I actually saw a lot
she
of
a ride or
Reddit
die or
comments
something?
that said, "Gotta get me a ride or die."
I knew
like
it. I knew it.
Kathy
I knew it. I knew
Oh,
they were gonna say
come
that.
on.
Boo. Yeah, which is truly unhinged, if you ask me.
Yeah, this is not a movie. This is not nothing to romanticize here.
Kathy Vu was taken into custody and she started giving her version of events. She claimed the night of the murders she had a work-related dinner planned and she actually wanted to invite her boyfriend Polly to go with her. He didn't show up. Instead, he messaged her saying, "Hey babe, sorry I can't go, like emergency happened." So he couldn't be there. She stated that that's all she knew. She didn't know what the emergency was. She didn't know emergency was murder. He just couldn't show up to her work event. That's all he said. Now, I'm not sure if she did this as a self-preservation argument or if she was still looking out for her boyfriend Polly, but she told officers that James, the victim in the trunk, was the problem. She stated that he had a history of threatening people, including her own boyfriend, and she said, quote, "If anything were to have happened, it would definitely have been self-defense."
That's
Yeah,
what
but the
she's
other
telling
one
the
wasn't
police.
though.
Yes, after being arrested.
Oh, that's probably why they call her ride or die.
She told officers that James owed her boyfriend Polly about $40,000. And when asked why, she said, after a narcotics-related transaction that didn't go as planned.
Oh, so she knows her boyfriend was doing some illegal stuff. So which one is Zizo? Which one is me? Which one is me? Oh, if I'm smart as heck or dumb as a box of rocks, come on, Titan, you know me, bro. Man, do you even need to ask that question, my boy? So we have to be here for a while. I can see. That's so really like. What's a belly? Huge kick. There's legs, BBW, basically. No, sir. But okay. You read that so late. My fault, man.
Which authorities didn't believe. Because according to James's mom, Polly was the one who owed James money. So while officers state that they had knowledge of a history between the two, it seems like they are inclined to believe that Polly was actually the one that owed James money. And maybe, theorizing, this is pure speculation, potentially Polly had lured James out under the guise of like, "I'm gonna give you your money back." And instead of giving his money back, he murdered him so that he could be absolved of that debt, and then went to his house to ransack it and steal stuff. And maybe it could even look like he was just targeted for the drugs.
But the plan is really
Stupid.
not.
Smart.
Yeah, so I don't see how they think they can get away with this
Exactly.
for even a day.
Yeah.
See, that's the weird part.
I genuinely feel like if they found James's car in the trunk, this is my personal opinion, if they found James's body in the trunk sooner, potentially they wouldn't have been looking at a fugitive situation. Because
Like they will catch them
before
immediately.
they flee to Vietnam.
Right,
Oh,
right.
they
So
went to
even
Vietnam
that,
for.
they
I was
still
wondering
caught
what the
them
freak
very
you bring up
quickly,
this
so-
Vietnam thing for.
So Tuesday, March 21st of 2023, Kathy Vu was officially charged with tampering in the deaths of James Martin and Dana Rizdal. She appeared in court with the most Texan-looking lawyer I have ever seen in my life.
Hey, everybody!
And everything. Yes. Her attorney focused on getting her out on bail. He tried to draw sympathy from the judge, stating that Kathy Vu had lost her job after her arrest. Which I don't know why
What the
he
freak?
said that.
I don't
know
care.
why
Obviously, she gonna lose her job because she's not making it on time.
certain attorneys say things like that, because it's kind of a situation of read the room, sir. 2 people were killed. I don't think losing a job is the end of the world, and I don't think anyone is going to dig deep into their hearts right now to find sympathy for something like that. But her attorney continued to argue that Kathy had only been dating Polly for a few months, and she, quote, only did what her boyfriend told her to do.
You know what? Right now, bro. Listen, I mean, obviously the lawyer's just trying to get her off of the charges. Yo, right now, bro. Right then, as soon as she said that, I would be like, oh, really? She only did what her boyfriend told her to do. Can you wheel the TV out, please? Like, what the heck? What's going on here? You know the little school TVs. And I'm gonna turn on the TV. So this is a video she made. Excuse me, Your Honor, and your jury. This is a video that we found on her social media account. Let's watch it together, shall we? Well, I know how to pick them, and only bums. Pause. So cards. This woman knows how to pick them. So tell me, sir, how are you going to tell me she only did what he told her to do when she literally says she knows how to pick them? That is very interesting. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's so funny.
That
The
did
movie
not
Time
sit
TV,
right with a lot of
exactly.
netizens, because ultimately she's not a minor. She's a 23-year-old woman who works a corporate job.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Before you move
Yes.
forward, the lawyer says she only did what the boyfriend told her to do.
Yeah.
So are they admitting that she did something for the boyfriend
It seems
relating
like
to
it.
the case?
Yes. And I think the speculation online right now is that she's working with the prosecutors and is going to get out on probably no time as long as she can testify. Is the speculation? We don't know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just kind of a weird thing to argue when she's a 23-year-old woman.
Yeah, but how do they
who
know he
has
went to
a
Vietnam?
corporate job,
Oh, his
who
passport's
lives
probably.
on her own, is very independent. Also, a lot of her brand identity was on being independent. And now it's like, no, she's not independent
Wait,
at all.
and
She
first
was
of all, yeah, she's not manipulated. Nah, I don't believe it. But first of all, so she asked him if he closed the garage. So he killed at her house and then took a flight and left, and she didn't ask no questions. And now they came to her house tracking it down, and then now she's like, oh, well, I don't know anything.
Has no idea what she's doing. Not saying that she can't be manipulated, but it was a weird argument to make in court. Netizens and the prosecutor argued she messaged him before, during, and after the murders. She bought the cleaning supplies and allegedly cleaned up the crime scene. To make matters worse, she went right back to posting TikToks the very next day, talking highly about her boyfriend, about how he's a great gift giver. And now, yeah, we don't know.
The next day of the crime?
Yes. Now, we don't know if maybe this is like a pre-filmed TikTok.
Yeah, that's what I was
But she
thinking.
does
It
go
could be
back to
probably.
posting TikToks after the murder, before she's arrested.
About the boyfriend.
Yes, and she showed off this new MacBook that he had gifted her, which, a lot of people feel like it's her thank you for cleaning up a crime scene gift. That's what a lot of people said online.
One thing that's really sweet about my boyfriend is that he thinks that he's a bad gifter, so he always overcompensates his gifting and actually gets me really good things. He saw my raggedy ass 8-year-old MacBook and replaced it for me. This is my birthday present. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful. You know what's so crazy? This is why I listen, bro. This is why I always say it's kind of like taking marriage advice from somebody who's been divorced 5 times. You know what I mean? Or taking workout advice, or like getting a personal trainer who is not in shape themselves. Because it's just like, this girl could have just been saying all these videos and been fine, But just because she's over here giving people advice on how to choose a guy, that's the whole thing that's throwing me. Because I'm just like, ma'am, your boyfriend, the one that you're praising and you're telling us is a good guy and everything, he just killed 2 people. And now he's on a run. So what are you trying to tell us here? Like, he's on the run now. He's hiding in a different country. So, yeah, I don't know if we should listen to you. I don't know if we should listen to you, ma'am.
Wow. Like, wow. Even if this was pre-filmed,
Yeah, I would
still,
have to.
like, this
I would have to cut it.
event just happened in your house.
I'd have to
night.
stop it.
So I see the argument that either she's incredibly heartless, and if this is all true, if the police theory is true and they're all found guilty, she's incredibly heartless. I do see the other argument of, like, she is trying to appear as everything is normal, because maybe people would question if she suddenly stopped posting, or if
No,
her
don't stop
content was
posting.
suddenly a shift.
Yeah, but usually
talking
we can
about
have
that.
pre-recorded things, like I can say I have some pre-recorded stuff, but I don't just have one pre-recorded video. So why does it have to be that video that she posted? She should have posted something else. Especially that MacBook could have been from somebody else's house that he robbed or something.
She was talking about other things. I don't know. Either way, it's very unsettling, I think.
Yeah.
And it's not really even about the MacBook, you know? It's just the fact that people argue Kathy doesn't seem affected by anything.
Of course, she looks
And
calm.
that is
She looks
just
chill.
normal behavior for someone who allegedly was forced into doing something they didn't want to do. Judge Lori Chambers ordered Kathy to wear a GPS ankle monitor.
Dang, is that her sister?
$40,000.
They don't look like normal people. Is that her sister? Kind of looks like a. Never mind. Oh, was this during COVID or something? Why everybody got a mask on? Oh dang, I'm not supposed to say that on YouTube. Crap. Dang it. Dang it! Stupid! Stupid!
Bond. She is not allowed to have any communication with Polly or Jaden. Like I said, a lot of netizens were very confused about how she got off so lightly, but it is speculated that she's most likely working with the prosecutors to testify against Polly and Jaden later. Because while Kathy was still in the US to face the legal battle herself, Polly and Jaden were nowhere to be found. Side note, I do see a lot of discourse that this is a learning moment for a lot of people. There is this romanticization amongst certain couples, like the ride or die couples, the Bonnie and Clyde couples, and sometimes that
Yep,
adds
YouTube
this
is still on that, bro.
romantic main character element to committing, you know, literal crimes like drug dealing. But this is a good learning lesson that even if you think that your partner is your ride or die, and you could really feel that in your heart and soul you would do anything for this partner, they are the Clyde to your Bonnie or vice versa. It might just be one-sided.
Yeah, the guy left.
Yeah, because if this is all true, if Kathy did indeed clean up a crime scene for her boyfriend left her in the US to deal with the aftermath while he fled to Vietnam without her. And he used her apartment to do the crime, allegedly.
He asked her to go, but she didn't want to.
Know what's coming.
Yeah, this is not...
He asked her to go. She didn't want to.
Bonnie or Clyde. This is Bonnie and the fugitive who doesn't care about Bonnie, if this is all true. So just be careful who you think is your ride or die, or just be careful if you think that you'll do anything for your partner. There is a chain of events, though, that gets triggered when Interpol sends out a red notice. The first step is any of the member countries of Interpol. There's 195 member countries. Each country can request a red notice be sent. A red notice is
Red Notice is that one
global
movie.
International BOLO. Be on the lookout for this fugitive on the run. Interpol, International Police, will check the request to make sure that that government, that country, is not hunting down a refugee, is not hunting down a whistleblower, and once approved, that red notice will be sent to authorities in 195 different countries, which it sounds like you still have places to hide, but not really. Almost every single country in the world is involved in Interpol and will receive a red notice on their desk.
So do they know that they went to Vietnam, or they knew?
They use their passports.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, they use their
okay.
passport.
So they just need to go to Vietnam.
Exactly. Then each country will decide how to handle that red notice. Vietnam's Interpol received a notice. The United States were looking for 2 citizens involved in a double homicide, U.S. citizens, Polly Fan and Jaden Wen. Now, again, to clarify, they're both U.S. citizens, and I'm not sure if they're born citizens or have immigrated. So it's unclear if they have family in Vietnam, and even if they did, were they staying with family? Were the family helping? We don't know. But we do know that the 2 fled to Vietnam. They're on the run. And the police have no official leads. They don't know if they went to Vietnam and then went on the run crossing borders, not using their passports. Here's a very interesting detail. One of the 2 perpetrators actually applied for an emergency passport reissue in the US, like immediately after the crime, and then fled to Vietnam.
What does that mean? Why is that?
So that, I think, goes again to bolster the theory that they thought that they could premeditate a murder against James, kill him, and get away with it. But once Dana came in and the whole thing flew out of control, now they're like, okay, shit has hit the fan, I need to leave the country. They apply for a emergency passport to leave the country.
They don't have a passport?
Maybe it was expired.
Oh, I see.
So that just goes to show, like, the train of thought. They thought that they were going to get away with James's murder. It
What
seems,
you're saying
allegedly.
is, I'm sorry, what you're saying is the emergency passport, meaning he wasn't planning on leaving.
Yes.
This is very last minute. It's like, let me get my passport renewed so I can leave right now. So they didn't plan that part.
Exactly, in like 48 hours. So I think that's why a lot of people believe the police theory that They premeditated James's murder, thought that they were going to get away with it. It flew out of control when Dana walked in on them ransacking the house.
But what if that murder also is not premeditated?
Yeah.
That's why they didn't get the passport. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Now the two have fled, and they're dealing with Kim Bryant. Kim Bryant is the unit manager of the fugitive apprehension team in the Harris County DA's office. She was tasked with locating Polly and Jaden. So when this case comes onto her desk, she moves it up to the top of the priority just based on the shocking nature of the crime. She was told a few times by superiors and other people that had been working this unit, they're like, okay, the suspects have fled to Vietnam. Most likely, you might be looking at years. A few years before you can get them into the U.S. again.
She's like, no,
and
I'm gonna get
formally
him by.
charged for their
I'm gonna get him
crimes.
by tonight.
Like it's hard to find
I'm
them.
gonna get him by
Hard.
dinner. That's what
It's
she said.
hard. There's a legal process to extradite them. It's going to be messy. It's going to be a long time. But just truly to find them, I mean, it's not like they're the most wanted on FBI's list. It's not like we can pour all of our resources into this one case. It's going to be lengthy. But Kim said, it's not hard to be tracked in some way, shape, or form. And right now, with the time and age of digital footprint and surveillance, it will thankfully and hopefully always get harder and harder for criminals to go on the run and not be identified. So this little cat and mouse game begins. And as of right now, it's not entirely clear how Polly and Jaden were caught. I think that this is going to come out during trial. So we don't know what tactics that the fugitive teams or potentially Interpol used to catch them, but there is a running theory on TikTok, only on TikTok, okay? That Vietnam, like most Asian countries, they've got a lot of ajumas. They've got a lot of moms, if you will, that love to gossip. So a lot of people think that there was a train of gossip or word of mouth that really was the nail in the coffin, caught the suspects, which would be fascinating.
So the locals kind of helped.
Yeah, that
is
the
the
locals
theory.
were like, did you hear? Did you hear?
Oh, they
Apparently
do be
they're in
doing that.
Vietnam. And I'm sure that this was a huge case for Vietnamese Americans because think about it. For Korean Americans, it would be a huge case. And then I'm sure that there would be a lot of Korean American to Korean discourse because there's connections. You know, we have family in Korea. And the conversations would keep going. So June of 2023, Polly, Fan, and Jaden were caught. Polly was found living in Ho Chi Minh City. Authorities stated that he seemed alert, he seemed aware of his surroundings, yes, but he still tried to live a normal life, which is shocking. It's crazy. He would go to the gym. He would go out at nights on the weekends. He was actually arrested at the gym. Like, how do you go to a gym while you're a fugitive on the run?
He should be like hiding in the room, curtains closed.
Yes.
Wow.
Never going outside.
Yeah.
As for Jaden, he was found in the countryside, allegedly living with a woman and her family after telling them that he was going to marry her and get her a green card into the U.S., which I don't know how he thought that one was going to play out because, sir, you're a fugitive. They were extradited back to Harris County July 19th and July 21st, respectively. They have both been charged with capital murder, meaning that death penalty is on the table. So typically when
they're
you're
in
committing
Texas
a
too.
crime, and then you murder someone while you're committing a crime. So in the state of Texas, if you're robbing someone and you end up killing them, if you're having a drug deal and you end up killing them, if you're assaulting someone and you end up killing them, it's automatically capital murder.
Which is worse than just murder.
So just homicide, first degree homicide, you're looking at life in prison. Capital murder, it could be death penalty. All signs point to the fact that they will be facing potential death penalty charges. Both Polly and Jaden have been refused bail. Jaden's attorney have stated that they may be able to indict my client, but they absolutely do not have enough to convict him. Which I understand that this is an ongoing case and that lawyers have a job to do, but I just feel like, again, not the best statement. It feels like, at least from a public perspective, they have video surveillance at the crime scene from two separate crime scenes heading from one to another, then you fled to Vietnam. It just doesn't feel like it's not absolute. He's saying you have absolutely no evidence. I don't know if it's absolute. Maybe it's circumstantial, you could argue that, right? So right now, people are speculating that Kathy Vu will be throwing Polly and Jaden under the table, and now it seems like Jaden will be throwing Polly and Kathy under the table. Jaden's gonna try and be like, no, it was all the couple. I don't know what is going on. The couple, it's like Bonnie and Clyde masterminds, and I am just like a bystander to it. That's the speculation of how people think that it will play out in trial. I'm not sure how Poli will be approaching this case with his attorney. I guess we will just have to wait and see how the trial goes. And again, just to clarify, we don't know the absolute facts of this case yet. We have a supposed motive, we have a supposed theory, but we don't know the exact reason that two individuals' lives were cut short and exactly who is involved in what. But it has been a huge relief for the victims' families that the fugitives were caught. James's family said, "We are thankful that we had James walk with us for the past 37 years. He's our sunshine and is now our shooting star out there in the greater universe, shaking things up. God will take him in the fold of super angels." Dana's father said, "It's so hard to grasp that he was just visiting a friend in Houston. He didn't even live there and he was murdered." Dana's stepmother emotionally stated, "He did nothing wrong. He walked in the wrong door at the wrong time, and it has devastated our family." Dana's dad said, "For 5.5 months, I prayed for them to be caught every day. I'd like to meet the woman that's the head of the fugitive task force next time I come to Texas, so that I can shake her hand, and if she'd allow me, I'd buy her a steak."
A steak.
He went on to state that his son Dana was one of the better human beings that you would ever meet. He said, "We had a lot in common, and now that's gone, and he's gone, and I don't know how to make up for that." And that is the very viral case of how a TikToker is allegedly involved in a double homicide. This has been highly requested. Yeah, it's just everything is kind of up in the air. Please let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on this case? Did you watch Kathy Vu's TikToks?
I never watched Kathy Vu's TikToks, and I never will because she gonna be in jail. Is that crazy? I mean, she is going to be in jail probably. Even if she confesses, she'll have a lesser sentence, but it still happened at her house. Unless she's like, "But I didn't know anything. I was just addicted." If she does that, bro, I'm gonna be mad. She better just say, "Yo, he did it at my house." Yeah, but listen, I could, like, if she folds, bro. I mean, but people do that because it works. These people do it because it works. Oh, heck no, I ain't watching that. Why do people... Oh, man, that makes me sick. That makes me sick.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Some more TikTok,
Have you
huh?
ever installed one of those baby monitor apps on your phone or your iPad before?
Nope.
I hear some people use it when their baby falls asleep in maybe another room where they don't have their normal sleeping space, their normal baby monitor set up. So they set it up and the iPad or an iPhone connects to another device and you can basically see in real time. You can listen in real time. So you can watch your baby sleep, see if they wake up in the middle of the night. It's a quick and easy fix, and it's essentially live streaming from one device to another. Now, a famous TikTok star, and he had almost 1 million followers on TikTok, which is huge, but his engagement was incredibly high. Like, meaning that some of his most famous videos were getting 10 to 20 million views per video. So this guy is famous. I mean, chances are, if you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube watching he was featured on a bunch of big YouTubers reacting to funny TikTok videos. He was everywhere. His name on TikTok was Jin Kid, aka Ali. Now, he had installed this type of app on his 5-year-old daughter's iPad, and he was at a hotel when the app buzzed. He opens up his phone. Now, his daughter's supposed to be at school, so it must mean that someone else is in the house or someone else is making noise in the family home. So he picks up his phone and he starts listening to the app. He puts the phone up to his ear and he's trying to hear the conversation. It sounds like there are two people talking, but they're not in the room where the iPad is. So he's straining to listen. Now, he could clearly make out the sound of the voices, so one he knew to be his soon-to-be ex-wife. I mean, that made sense. This was her home, you know?
Soon to be ex-wife?
Yeah, they're in the process of a divorce.
Oh, okay.
Which made sense because the daughter's iPad is in the house that the soon-to-be ex-wife is living in, right? But was that a man's voice? Ali slammed his fist on the hotel table. He was pissed, emotional, fuming. Right off the bat, he said to himself, "Oh my God, I just caught her. I just caught her." He felt the rage of someone who had just caught their significant other cheating on them. But the thing is, Ali and his wife Anna were in the process of divorcing. They were separated. They weren't even living together. He had been kicked out of the family home. They were broken up.
Yeah.
But he did not understand why. Why she would give up the TikTok fame. Why she wanted to stop making videos with him when they were getting millions of views. He did not realize that all of that abuse that he was giving to her behind the camera was pushing her away. That did not stop him from planting this app on their daughter's iPad. He actually slipped it under his ex-wife's bed and tried to listen to every little thing that she said or did. He was enraged.
Wow. So he's like spying on her.
Yeah. He grabs his keys, hops into his car, and this is taking place in San Diego, by the way. He could hear his ex-wife, and he's like listening on the phone while he's driving past the speed limit. And there's another man, and they're giggling, and they're conversing, and he's fuming. He said that in the car on the way there, he's screaming to nobody in particular, "Don't do it, Anna. Don't sleep with him. Don't do it." And then he said he heard his worst nightmare through the phone.
Yo, there's a
R&B
fly in here,
music.
bro.
And he felt like that could only
He said
be
R&B music?
He said that he almost had tears flowing out of his eyes. He parked his car, rushed into the apartment that he once shared with Anna and their daughter, and by the time that he left, 2 people would be dead. He would be driving down the highway with his 5-year-old daughter and a loaded gun in the car.
Oh. Oh, shoot. That is not what I expected to happen. Copyright, 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 copyright. I did not know that was going to happen. What's her name? What's her name from My Hero, The Invisible?
On trial for a double homicide. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmanglepodcast.com. Today's case does involve a lot of talk about domestic violence.
Crime of
If that is
Passion?
something that cuts a little too deep, then turn this episode off, run a bath, watch a comedy show, eat some yummy food, and I will see you in the next episode. Or if this is something that you're currently dealing with, just know that there is help available. I'm going to leave those all in the notes, but for the National Domestic Violence Hotline, please call 800-799-7233 or head over to thehotline.org. But a big note, a cautionary note, all of those are linked. If you make any calls or go to any website, clear it from your call log, clear it from your browser history. So with that being said, let's get into the case. Ali told himself that he could get his wife back. He was a famous TikTok star with almost 1 million followers, you know? There was nothing that he couldn't get. That sounds so cliche. Like, it sounds like a caricature of an influencer on one of these SNL skits. But that's genuinely how this guy felt. He would tell all of his buddies that his wife was leaving him, but it's fine, because he's gonna get her back. He would mention that technically he could move on too. He said, you know, I could have anyone that I want. Models, celebrities, I could have them all.
What is her name?
But I want Anna. I want my wife.
He has TikTok followers?
Yes. No, genuinely, this guy would bring out a massive Ziploc baggie of cocaine in public, like at a public restaurant. And his friends would be freaking out, like, put the baggie of cocaine away. What are you doing? Like, we're not all trying to get arrested right now. No one's going to believe you that that's powdered sugar. And he's like, it's okay, guys. I'm Jin Kid.
I have followers.
Yeah. I mean, I've never met an influencer
What
like
is
that
her
in
name?
all my years. This is insane. He's literally the caricature of an influencer. He would sit in his motel room after being kicked out of the family home, and his cousin Louie was there. And his cousin Louie is trying to give him some support through the separation. And that night, Ollie got so drunk, and he's showing his cousin pictures of his wife, and he's pointing at the screen, and he's screaming, "My wife, my beautiful wife. I'm not giving her up to no man. I don't want no man being around my child." He did not understand that she does not want to be with him. Sure, he's famous. Sure, he's making money. But he felt like pushing her to the ground, abusing her, hitting her, yelling at her, being toxic, trying to control her, humiliating her on live streams, screaming at her, threatening her citizenship status. He thought that was just part of what came with being married to a star, you know? Because they were couple goals.
Couple goals.
They were couple goals on TikTok. They had this relatability factor to them. So
oh heck no, that ain't couple goals.
Protective boyfriend role.
Oh, that's him? I never seen him before.
These videos, and originally in the videos it does come off endearing. Like I watched a few and I tried my best to be like, okay, don't let hindsight be 2020, just look at it objectively. What would I think if I saw this on my FYP? It's pretty chill. So for example, I mean, she's at the store and she's with one of her guy friends. She's like, hey, I want you to meet my boyfriend. And once he's on FaceTime alone with this male friend, he's saying, if you touch my
I've seen him
boyfriend,
before.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. And he's like whipping out a gun.
Whoa.
The gun part is a little weird, but when you go down Ollie's page, that wasn't necessarily him. He was known on TikTok for role-playing Scarface, Tony Montana. So he would wear the outfit, he would do the hair, he would have the accent. So I guess it was more digestible for people.
Right.
Versus if it was
so
just
it's
a regular
skit, and they're trying to pretend. Okay.
Exactly. It's like a parody. It's a character that he plays into, right? But yeah, I would never imagine that he would be in prison for a double homicide. So in regard,
How do you? After being here, how do you even pick that? Honestly, from every single thing that I've done, most of them are really muscular, actually. If anything, but okay, sure.
regards to their social media presence, I think that they were just having fun with it.
So is that like most of the content they post?
Yes.
Pranks
So,
and stuff? Skits?
oh, he went through phases. Okay. So he actually got big. Do you know Skyrim?
No.
Oh, Titan. Open your ears, Titan.
Games. Now imagine. I think this one was more mainstream, but it's like a fantasy land. Not a fantasy land, but more of like one of those fantasy warrior type games, I think. They walk weird, they have side quests and stuff like that.
Okay.
So his whole thing was pretending to be the NPCs on these games. Like, you know the GTA ones where you have them walking all weird and they keep walking into the walls? He was role-playing that and people thought it was hilarious, especially gamers. They were like, I love this. No one's making videos like this. So he did all this.
She's talking about Skyrim.
Like these game niched parody videos, and they blew up. Eventually, he starts going into these movie character roles. So he starts cosplaying and parodying Tony Montana from Scarface, John Wick from the John Wick series, and oddly Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Let me give you a little insight about God, Kevin. You see, God, he likes to watch. He's a prankster. Dad, I know it sounds crazy, all right, but just hear me out. The map exists. All I have to do... Look, I'm not stealing it. I'm borrowing it.
Yo, you got a bathroom here? Nah? Alright. Yo, what'd you say to me? Yo, suck my dick, stupid.
I don't know why. Okay, that's like a really random one. But he would parody like POV, Tony Montana tries to order Chipotle. So like these really tough, big, bad movie characters, and they're just like doing normal everyday stuff. That was his whole TikTok. And then eventually, once that blew up, he started posting his own personal stuff. So like videos with Anna about their relationship, about their child. But people think that Ali Abulaban might have taken his social media career like a bit too seriously. Maybe he was too much into the John Wick, Tony Montana type of characters. Maybe he felt like that was his real... If you guys... Have you seen Scarface?
Maybe, a long time ago.
Okay, just to give you a rundown. Tony Montana
Say
is
hello
the star
to
of
my little
Scarface.
friend.
He is also played by Al Pacino, like the GOAT. And Tony Montana
This
is
Bane
a
Rock
bad
content,
person.
definitely.
Like, if you want to look at
Definitely.
it simply, he is the main character of the movie, but he's not a hero. He's a villain. Like, I kid you not. When you Google what is Tony Montana known for, the first Google result
say hello
is
to my little
known
friend.
for violence, cocaine, and the final scene where he waves around an assault rifle and goes, "Say hello to my little friend." Those are the three things that Tony Montana
Say
is
hello.
known
I
for.
had cassettes.
And this is
I had the
character that
cassettes,
Ali
bro.
is role-playing nonstop, doing skits, parodies, which nothing is wrong with that. It's pretty normal on social media. But he starts kind of
I miss cassettes,
adapting
bro.
this personality in real life,
Cassette tapes.
which is absurd if you really think about it.
Yo, there's a
because the
freaking-
topic he played in the movie. I would imagine if you were the movie character, it's a bit different. Maybe Al Pacino can't get out of the character. That makes more sense. You're just doing skits on social media. What's going on? But that is not the guy that Anna had fallen in love with. A lot of people make this case out to be like, oh, you don't 100% know what's going on social media. Social media is all fake because on social media they're portrayed as this loving couple goals, but in reality they're in a toxic relationship. I do think there is some of that, but I just think that he was a violent, aggressive, evil, despicable human being. I don't think social media is why he did what he did, but it probably pushed them apart, and that made him furious. So the guy that Anna knew was just someone trying to build a family. He was just someone that was trying to build a life with her. He had this passion for acting. He starts making these TikTok skits. It blows up. It's paying some bills. And it almost feels like Anna's like, okay, well, this guy is just trying to support the family and he's enjoying what he's doing. It starts like that. But slowly with the fame and money, he starts turning into somebody else. Anna was born in 1993. Some sources say that she was born in the Philippines, others say it was in Japan or the US. I feel like it's probably not in the US though, because it's kind of pertinent later. There's like a whole citizenship debate. But most of her family are in the Philippines. She had a science degree from the Technological University of the Philippines, which is a very big deal and it's very indicative of how intelligent she was.
So she is Filipino.
Yes,
Okay.
and she had a master's degree as well. So there's not too much that you can find about her online, which is interesting because they're both technically social media personalities. But I really think for Anna, social media was just her sharing bits and pieces of her life. It was very natural for her. She still had this separation of like, that's online, this is like real life. She just wanted to show people her having fun, that's it. She had no intentions of turning it into like a full-blown career, really. She focused on her school, eventually moves to Okinawa, Japan. She was a
Okinawa.
military kid. So she travels around a lot. Her dad is in the military, and they were based in Japan. And it said that she was really, really, really close with her whole family. She kept most of her family life private, but even then, when she would post videos, she was so into